Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Sydney Parade in Dublin 4 in beautiful Ireland for this, the third T20 International Series match, Hanley Energy International Series between Ireland women and West Indies women. I'm Andrew Leonard, I'm your host for today. And after a little bit of a delayed toss, we've managed to get cricket underway and we're going to have a start on time, right on 4 o'clock. It's about 3 minutes to 4 local time here. And for the third match in a row, West Indies women, they're going to bat first. But it was a different winner of the toss today because Garth, the local Pembroke captain and now Irish captain, she decided that the best thing to do was to have a bowl first with a bit of inclement weather around. Certainly a little bit of rain we had before the start, so maybe some early help for her bowlers. You can see the two sides in their tents there. Getting ready for this, the third match in the series. West Indies women, they took a 2-0 unassailable lead yesterday. And I'm delighted to be joined for the first time this week by something of a legend of Irish cricket, Clara Shillington, the recently retired Clara Shillington. Shillers, how are you?
I'm great, thanks Lenny. Delighted to be in here, bit strange not being on the other side of the rope, but yeah, really looking forward to my day in the commentary box and hoping they can finish with a win in this series.
Yeah, following the much trodden path between the playing shirts of Ireland and into the commentary box, we've seen Niall O'Brien and the likes take that route. Ed Joyce, Kyle McCallan, the great Alan Lewis, of course. So great to have Clara Shillington with us, one of Ireland's record caps holders in the women's game.
Yeah, I am indeed. Feels like a long time since I've retired now, but yeah, look, I'm delighted to be here and nice to still be involved in Irish cricket, and really looking forward to seeing the girls hopefully put on a big performance today. Yeah,
let's take a look at the two squads, please, Claire, because the playing 11s, West Indies, they've gone with a similar side, just the one change from yesterday. Shakira Selman goes out, the other two to miss out. Kashona Knight, she's still coming back from a knee injury, and Chanel Hendry, she misses out as well. So we're going to see lots of spin from the West Indies again. Claire, how impressed have you been with Afi Fletcher the last couple of days?
Yeah, look, she's been fantastic. She obviously took 3 wickets, I think, on the first day, and she was good again yesterday. It's something I know the Irish girls, even from when I was in the squad, we've worked really hard on playing spin. It's probably, the biggest asset in a team in T20 cricket, in men's and women's, over the last number of years. So we've been working hard on it, and hopefully we'll play her slightly better today. And
this is the Irish starting 11, the same side as yesterday. Aaron Hamilton, the head coach, Andrew Pointer's assistant, and Garth decided against making any changes. So it'll be the same starting 11 for Ireland. And they're going to open with spin again. Celeste Rack has done this throughout the series. Going to have leg breaks to start. But she's got to face up to the powerful opening duo of Hayley Matthews, who'll be joined again by Brittany Cooper. Brittany Cooper much more aggressive in yesterday's second T20I than she was in the first match. Very different conditions though today. Remember, West Indies, they hold an unassailable 2-0 lead in the series. They can't be caught, but a chance for Ireland, who are ranked 10th in the world, to turn over the 4th ranked side in the world, one of the form sides in the world in T20 cricket, West Indies women. So it's going to be Celeste Rack to open from the Willfield Road end. And we're going to start almost bang on time on 4 o'clock. Here we go for the third T20I. Slow through the air to start from Rack. Celeste came into the squad just after you, or just as you were kind of in your final year. A leg spinner you're impressed with?
Yeah, very impressed. Obviously she's had a lot of experience playing in Tasmania and hopefully go well today.
She's not quick through the air by any stretch, but she gets good turn on the ball. She
gets good revs. She's obviously quite small in stature, but she likes to toss it up there, and yeah, she can get good turn and bounce, and she varies her pace well.
She's been economical throughout the series so far, opening the bowling for Ireland, bowling in the power play. And gets the West Indies underway with a elegant on drive from Hayley Matthews down to Shauna Kavanagh long on. Just 2 fielders allowed outside the circle in the first 6 overs. The power play of 2020 Internationals there, stationed at long on and deep mid-wicket. So both fielders on the leg side, Claire. Little under edge from the sweep shot. Mary Waldron makes a good stop. How impressed have you been by this West Indies side? I know you've been watching the stream the last couple of matches.
Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't here on Sunday, but they've been very impressive. These two big hitters at the start. I thought they had a fantastic start yesterday, probably a little slower in YM. They've now got used to the conditions, and I thought they were superb against in the first 6 yesterday.
Shorter this time, going to be pulled, but finds a fielder at square leg, so no real damage in this first over from Celeste Rack. Just 1 run coming from it for Ireland. West Indies there, 1 for none after 1. Talk to us about the World T20 in the Caribbean last November. It must have been quite the swan song for you, Claire.
Yeah, it was. I absolutely loved it. You know, you're playing at the top end of world cricket against the best. It was obviously a difficult competition for us, but I have to say, for me personally, it was a great way to go out. You know, sad not to be involved in it anymore, but all good things come to an end.
There's a rumour going around that you made your debut for Ireland in the last century. That can't be true, is it?
Absolutely not true. Just gave you my date of birth. It's in the 2000s.
Okay, Clara Shillington, very much one of the veterans of the side, bowing out alongside Isabel Joyce, Cecilia Joyce and Ciara Metcalf, the 4 grannies as they were known in the squad.
I think sadly Ciara christened us with that name, so I wasn't very happy with that one. Young at heart.
Going to be Kim Garth to open the bowling for Ireland again. So impressive yesterday, not just with the bat but also with the ball. 3 wickets yesterday and a career best with the bat. The biggest cheer of the day as she raised her maiden T20 I-50. Starts with a short ball and she's going to be punished for it. Hayley Matthews was quick onto that. Rocks back onto the back foot. Pulled away for the first boundary of the day. Take a look at the replay here, Claire.
Yeah, I thought Kim bowled very well yesterday. She actually did well banging it in short, but that was probably just a little too straight and pulled easily away to the just behind square in the leg side.
Blustery and a few drops of rain in the air. Tough conditions for both sides. Tell us about Hayley Matthews, Claire. She burst onto the scene on the global stage at the World T20 in 2016, still just 21 years of age.
Yeah, she's another one that's phenomenal. She's only 21, so much experience already, playing Big Bash and playing in the T20 championships in India, and has obviously done really well at the top of the order for the West Indies.
Short again, pulled into the deep, right down towards us. We could be in trouble here. No, we're not quite. It's going to hit my foot just as it comes through. 1 bounce, and it's going to travel, in fact, all the way for 6.
Lenny was looking for a crowd catch there.
Let's take a look at the replay. Kim Garth banged it in again. It was too short. I was in trouble. The panic button was pressed by me. Luckily, I had Clara Shillington right next to me. You were always going to look after me there.
I was backing you all the way there, Len. One-handed, Mike in the other.
Better from Garth. Fuller this time. How tough is it to back up a performance like Kim Garth yesterday? She's leading her country now as well.
Yeah, I thought Kim's been phenomenal now in the last 2 days, and especially yesterday, bat and ball, and obviously taking on the captaincy in bittersweet conditions with Laura Delaney gone out, but she's excelled and doing really well.
Getting quite a few drops of rain now, a little bit heavier, hopefully just a passing shower as Garth corrects her length, gets back on to a better length, and in fact we'll just correct the graphics at the bottom of your screen. That one did fly all the way for 6 from Kim Garth. Hayley Matthews finding early form, early touch with the bat. Better finish from Garth. That's going to end the second over. Ireland 11 for none. Sorry, West Indies 11 for none, of course, Claire. Were you surprised at Garth's decision to win the toss and decide to bowl first?
No, I think it's a good decision, obviously, with the weather we have about. At the minute, there's a few showers around. And obviously, you know, Ireland are looking to get the much out of this series as they can as well. So they'll be looking to back up another good performance in the field. And then hopefully go a little bit better with the bat and see what we can do today.
Such power in this West Indies batting lineup. You can see they don't quite like it as much with the spin on, do they? They really like the pace on the ball to be able to utilise all of their power, all of their levers that they have.
Yeah, I think like all good opening batsmen, you kind of want it coming on. I know I was the same. And Celeste is that small stature. It's quite hard. She's getting it up above the eyes and then dipping on them.
Fuller this time from Rack. Plenty of dots, and his tactic of using spin to open the innings working so far for Ireland. Full again, clipped into the leg side. Going to be work for Shauna Kavanagh in the deep. As you see the dirt line, the train line here in Dublin, head into town. One of Ireland's best fielders, Shauna Kavanagh, Claire.
Yeah, she is. She's been a great athlete for us over the last few years. She's superb anywhere really, but does a great job out in that boundary. She's quick across the ground.
Slog sweep. A bit of a misfield there. I think, is that Rebecca Stokel there at square leg? She had a very tough day in the field yesterday. 3 catches went down.
Yeah, she'd a tough one. She's a tall girl and maybe struggles to get down a bit quicker than the others, but hopefully she'll go better today.
Ireland's fielding been notably improved in this series. Something they've been working really hard on. Full toss hit down the ground. Going to be Una Raymond Hoey coming around and doing the fielding. That's a great diving stop. Long on, and poor running from the West Indies. Just one run there. Great stuff from Una Raymond Hoey.
Yeah, super work there by Una at long on. She's another great athlete, quick across the ground, and is doing a great job for us out there in the boundary.
I think perhaps the reason they didn't get back for 2, Brittany Cooper dropped her bat, standing at the non-striker's end, and there's no position to come back for 2. Can Rack close out her second over? Yeah, dot to finish. Good tight stuff from Celeste Rack, and end the third over. Ireland will be pleased with this start. West Indies women are just 15 for none. So Claire, tell us about this new generation, this new era for Irish women's cricket.
Yeah, I think no better time to ask me with Louise Little coming on to bowl. She's a teammate here in Pembroke Cricket Club, aged just 15. And yeah, it's a real start for a new era with 4 of us so-called grannies stepping away and Lucy O'Reilly having a bit of time out from cricket. So it's exciting to see the next level coming up, and hopefully she can back up, some decent performances and go a little bit better again today.
We had Richard Holdsworth on, the Cricket Ireland Performance Director, yesterday. He was telling us about the number of fixtures and the amount to look forward to, particularly if Ireland can qualify for the T20 World Cup in August.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of fixtures coming up, and obviously the big goal is qualifying for that T20 World Cup in Australia next year. So qualifiers in the end of August, September in Scotland, and there's a fair bit of cricket before that here in Ireland. So the girls will have a lot, but as players they want to play matches, and that's how they're going to progress and gel as a team. So they've plenty of cricket to get in before those qualifiers in August.
Yeah, Louise Little bowling into a headwind off the flashing outside edge of Hayley Matthews, down to Rebecca Stokel at third man. It's by no means a foregone conclusion that Ireland will necessarily qualify from that in August. It's a new team, it's a young team, just 2 spots from the 8 teams competing. Yeah,
it's a difficult competition. We've obviously been through the rounds of it several times, 3 times now, and we won it in Thailand and we qualified in the last one, so we know what we're at.
That was in the Netherlands, where I think you might have been player of the tournament, Claire, is that right?
I was kindly awarded it. It was very much a team performance to get us to that World Cup.
Ever the politician, even post-career. We've got Clara Shillington here, the Irish legend of Irish women's cricket, and the local club member now at Pembroke Cricket Club these days. Pembroke looking resplendent again, despite the inclement weather, as the local girl Louise Little strays outside the off stump. How difficult is it for someone like Louise Little at just 15 years of age to come in to bowl to batters of this class?
Yeah, it's difficult because she just doesn't have her experience behind her, but as a mindset she's a very easy-go-lucky kind of girl. I don't think she'll be too phased by this, but she's just lacking experience, which she's obviously getting out there.
There's a bit of a competition at home between herself and Josh.
Yeah.
Josh making his ODI debut earlier in the month and starring in front of the Sky Sports cameras against England. Yeah,
he did fabulously well. It was brilliant to see, and great for, as I said, this is my home club, great for Pembroke Cricket Club and for Josh, but I'm always going to back Lulu in beating that one.
Yeah, a real talented family, the Little family. Brother and sister internationals. Heaved into the sky, could be half a chance. Mary Waldron tries to run back. She's not going to get there. Brittany Cooper, just like she did in the first T20, really struggling to get going. Just 2 off 9 balls. That could have been half a chance.
Yeah, Mary backpedaling well there, but it was always going to fall short in between the two fielders. Great to see Lulu forcing the miss shot there. So yeah, she just went to play it out to slog sweep it out to square and getting a big top edge.
Nicely bowled by Louise Little, and really good work from Una Raymond Hoey at square leg. Saves the single. Sharp footwork from her. Good tight start from Little. Just 3 runs coming from that over. West Indies 18 for none after 4.
Yeah, good start here from Ireland. West Indies were motoring along yesterday. I think they were going at 10s in their first 3 or 4 overs. So this is a much improved start, and good for Lily Little to bowl well in her first over.
Yeah, this is more reminiscent of the first T20I at YMCA Cricket Club, where West Indies really took their time to get going. After 12 overs, they were just 61 runs. But yesterday, they were taking the aggressive approach right from the off. Brittany Cooper at 20 off just 11 balls. Hayley Matthews 33 off 32. And by the time Hayley Matthews fell, West Indies had already reached 70 in the 10th over. So tighter stuff, and one of the stars of the last couple of days for Ireland is coming into the attack now, Sophie McMahon. She made her T20I debut just a couple of days ago. 2 outstanding spells, and good with the bat yesterday as well.
Yeah, she's been a real sort of bonus of this series. I think she's been around for a while, but has now broken into the T20 side, and I thought she was superb yesterday with the ball and really gritty with the bat, which is great to see.
Short cut away, that's going to beat the infield. No one in the deep on the offside, so it's going to be the second boundary for the innings. This time going to Cooper. First boundary of her knock, and just too short and a little bit too wide for McMahon.
Yeah, just too short and wide there. That was comfortably hit through the covers. I think in general, yeah, she's just hit that comfortably through the covers there. I think in general we were a little bit too short yesterday. So I know Sophie, I'm sure she'll be aiming to get the ball up a little bit closer and get it swinging.
It's going to bring about a change in the field, because deep cover will go out. Long on will come into the circle to mid on. So sweepers out on both sides of the grounds now. Powered towards that mid on that's just come into the circle, just wide of Una Raymond Hoey. She's got work to do. Brittany Cooper slips, the throw comes in, but Hayley Matthews is quick between the wickets. She'll get back for 2. 2 more runs to the total. Almost half a chance there, Claire.
Yeah, again, just forcing a sort of a rash shot there. The fielder came in and she's looked straight away to go over the top, which is good for Sophie. Again, if she can just pitch it up a little bit and force those mistakes.
Hit down the ground, straight to mid-off where Louise Little does the fielding. It's blustery and windy. There's a little bit of rain in the air. If you're just joining us, this is the 3rd of the T20 matches, the Hanley Energy International T20I series between Ireland women and West Indies women. Ireland women, they won the toss, but they decided to bowl first today. Looks for the scoop. That's a superb piece of batting. Sensational stuff from Brittany Cooper. Fine legs up in the circle. So she is going to get 2 more runs. Lovely innovation from Cooper.
Yeah, super shot there. She got into position early. Knew that there was a gap there. Probably a little unlucky that it didn't run away for 4, but obviously the outfield slowed up a bit with the rain this morning. But great shot there. Good option.
Yeah, you can see the innovation stepping across her stumps. Brittany Cooper in full control, scooping it over the shoulder of Mary Waldron. Not quite enough pace. Outfield slowing up a little with the rain that's about. Certainly lots of precipitation in the air. Another change in the field. Deep mid-wicket will come in. Long on going out. West Indies putting early pressure on McMahon here. Huge appeal. That's the first wicket. Azam Ali Bey gets the finger up. It was an under edge. Super stuff from Mary Waldron behind the stumps. Ireland have the breakthrough.
That's a super take from Mary there behind the stump, standing up to Sophie McMahon. Not a lot of pace in it, but an under edge is always difficult to take. Fairly wide, takes a big swing, and yeah, super catch by Mary. Well done.
Delight for McMahon and delight for Waldron. That's the first wicket. West Indies, they're 26 for 1. Welcome back to Sydney Parade in Dublin. We just had a little break there, and we're going to have a change in the commentary box. I bid farewell to Clara Shillington, and we're going to pass over now to Janice Walsh, who'll be joined by Miriam Greeley.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Janice Walsh here with Miriam Greeley, and Louise Little is continuing from the St. John's Road end. Again, a full-length ball from Louise Little, straight up to Yorker length to Hayley Matthews. But she a big swing of the bat. Miriam, she's showing some intent.
She has. Lou started very well today, hasn't she, Janice? She got her line right. Got her line right, got her right up into the block hole there, and Hayley couldn't get it away. Hayley started with great intent as well. She'll pounce on any loose ball, so we have to keep it nice and tight.
Big shot. There's a fielder out there, and it's gone over her mid-wicket, over the boundary for 6.
It was a great shot, Janice. A little bit short. Hayley pounced on it straight away. I thought we were in with a shot there for a second, but it went straight over.
Here it is on replay, Miriam. Have a look.
Yeah, punched it. Right, it was a little bit too short, Janice. I thought we were in, like I say, but straight over Anna Kirsten's head.
Yeah, she stood her ground, Matthews, and just picked her spot, really. Big swing of the bat over mid-wicket boundary for 6. And again, full-length ball. Matthews didn't really move her feet very much. She just had a big swing of the bat over mid-off. Again, for 4 runs. She's here it comes again on the replay.
She just opens that left leg, Jan. Naturally, I've hit through the line of the ball. It's not a terribly bad delivery. It's just a very, very, very good shot.
Yeah, Louise did struggle with her line a little bit, Miriam, yesterday, I thought. Maybe a little bowled, maybe a few too wides. Ireland bowled 15 wides yesterday, which in this form of the game is probably too many.
That's correct, Janice.
Well bowled. It was a much fuller length ball that Matthews had to play back down into the ground, just was stopped by Mary Waldron behind the stumps.
That's a great thing to see, that when Lou is hit for 4, that she comes back with a good Yorker ball, so she comes back very well. It's very good.
Yeah, she's a very young bowler. She's learning her craft, and it's nice to see that her confidence isn't being knocked. Beautiful ball, just full length outside the off stump. She beat Matthews there, I think. A little bit of movement possibly in these conditions. Matthews swung on a miss.
I think also Hayley tried to play a little bit too close to her body there, Janice.
Yeah, Matthews is a very experienced bat, Miriam. She has an average of 19.54, which at this form of the game is a terrific average.
I believe also, Janice, she could have done track and field as well. She's a bit of a sportswoman, all-round sportswoman.
Okay, well, that explains it, doesn't
Javelin, track and field. Lucky for cricket, she chose cricket.
Yeah, she got 32 yesterday off. She got 33 off 32 balls yesterday, and there was definitely a greater intent than there was on Sunday, where I think she was probably suffering from the cold. They had a look at the wicket and they decided that they would come out and try and keep the scoreboard ticking over, where Sunday was a little bit slower. I think they probably would be looking for 150 again here minimum. Sophie McMahon there, bowled just up full, a slightly fuller length, and she got an edge. It's going to run away for 4. There's nobody down there. A third man, no slip in.
This is Shidane Nation, who played yesterday. She came in 5th, 4 off 3 balls. So I'd say she'd be looking for a few more runs today, Janice. That's a nice shot off the mark. To be honest, she went back in her crease. I think she played soft hands.
Yeah, and again in these conditions, I think Sophie McMahon is going to prove a little bit difficult, tricky to get away. She bowled very well yesterday and very well on Sunday. 1 for 21 yesterday and 1 for 20 on Sunday. Oh, they're taking a quick single. And Kim Garth there picked it up in the covers, threw it in, and it hit the stump.
All happening here, Janice.
Yeah, cricket the winner, Miriam.
I think that was a great single. She's obviously trying to get her single to give Hayley enough of the strike, so she just softly played it to the left of Gabby Lewis there in covers and backed herself to take the single.
The West Indies are here in Ireland playing this 3-match series before they go to England to play the English team in ODIs, which will hopefully qualify them for the World Cup, the ODI World Cup. So they're here really to get used to the conditions in this neck of the woods. Is that right? Nice ball there from Sophie. It was just a little bit maybe straying down leg, and it was nudged off the hip into mid-wicket for an easy single.
We'll be quite happy if we can keep Hanley off the strike, just knocking singles around the place. It was a good ball and a good shot knocked into mid-wicket for 1. Yes, you're right about that. I think West Indies are about 8th in that league at the moment, Janice. They'll be wanting to win all their games over in England in the ODI series to qualify.
Well pitched up ball from Sophie McMahon. Beautifully played to mid-off, but excellent fielding from Louise Little. Bent down, picked it up one hand straight in to keeper's end.
I think we've spoken before about how good the Irish fielding has improved over the last 3 or 4 years. We certainly can compete with anybody at that level in the fielding end of things.
See, the field has moved out now for Hayley Matthews. We've got mid-on, mid-off, back, right back on the boundary.
What's impressed me, Janice, about Sophie, she's actually bowling to her field very well.
Yeah, that one was a nice ball pitched up and just pushed to mid-on, no run. And again, the same ball produces the same shot. The fielder, Lara Moritz, is in very, very quickly to keep the batsman back in their crease. That's the end of the 7th over, and the West Indies are 43 for 1.
Certainly a very good start from the Irish, Janice. I think they're bowling a little bit tighter than they are yesterday. Louise Little certainly is bowling very well, and Sophie's continued the good work she's had for the last couple of days. She's been the find of this tournament for us. Young girl coming in, bowled extremely well and was quite impressive with the bat as well yesterday.
Yes, and she doesn't seem to be fazed by the pressure. She seems to be able to cope very well under pressure and is able to vary her length. The one thing again we need to make sure is that we're not straying in our line.
Agreed.
Change of bowling now at the St John's Road end is Lara Moritz is now coming on.
Lara's an impressive bowler, Janice. Sometimes maybe bowls just a tiny bit too quick, which her pace wouldn't necessarily trouble the West Indies. So I think she's got to really try to get it just short of a length or up in the block hole, but nothing short. Although we have a square leg, deep square leg out there, it's a short enough boundary. So right up in the block hole, Lara.
Oh, that was short. And as happened yesterday, anything short, the West Indies bats are onto it very, very quickly, and that was just it was just tipped. Really, she didn't put a huge amount of power into it. It has gone over very high and over the mid-wicket boundary for 6. Here it comes on replay.
Just tried to bowl it just a little bit too quick, Jang. I think just a little bit of nerves there. Just a loosener, we'll call it a loosener.
Yeah, she did that yesterday as well, and it was the same result. Well done. Pitched up ball outside the off stump. A big swing and a miss by Shadeen Nation. She was lucky not to get an edge.
It was a great comeback.
Yeah, the conditions here are a little bit... there's rain in the air. It's cloudy. If there's going to be any movement, she's going to get a little bit of swing. Maybe she might put in a slip, Miriam.
She has that... she has that field set, Janice, for the short of a length delivery, because she's got a deep third man and deep cover and deep square leg. So I wouldn't be bowling anything too full because she's mid on and mid off up in the circle. If she can get her driving on the front foot, slip. But she's bowling a little bit too short for that at the moment.
He's a little bit wide outside the off stump. You can see Shadeen Nation is sort of stepping forward and trying to cut the ball. It's obviously a little bit too close to cut. She's running the risk of getting an edge. But Lara Moritz maybe is a little bit straying with her line. Well fielded. Again, she'd moved in very slightly. It was a long hop really, and it was cut to backward point and no run.
It's impressed me there watching Shadeen bat Janice. She gets into position terribly quickly. I mean, Lara is nippy enough, and she just gets into position and tries to guide it just a bit softer hands behind backward point.
Oh, again, short ball from Moritz, high up in the air, should be taken. Oh, and it isn't. That was a difficult catch chance for Una Raymond Hoey. The ball stayed up in the air for quite a long time. She got into position, but it just popped out. Here it is on the replay.
Yeah,
you can see it was bowled long hop outside the off stump, pulled to mid wicket. She tried to take it above her head, interestingly, and it just popped out.
Another good comeback ball
Quick
there.
run.
I think Una, actually, if she'd have stayed, possibly. It's very difficult in these conditions. That ball went up so high with the wind conditions. Perhaps if she'd have stayed still, it actually just went over her head slightly.
Yeah, and a white ball in the sort of white cloudy sky, she probably lost it. She's normally an excellent fielder.
Agreed. Another change of field here, Janice.
Yeah, there's another change of field there. That's Gabby Lewis, is it, going back out to mid-on, deep mid-on. Celeste Rack has come back into the circle at fine leg.
It's just giving her that little more cover, Janice, on the leg side.
It was a good length ball. It was dug out. That's the end of the 8th over, and the West Indies are 55 for 1.
I think the West Indies will be happy enough with this start. A wicket down, they tend to accelerate, see where they are after 10 overs and accelerate even more. Hayley Matthews is looking in pretty good nick.
Yes, certainly, and it's interesting that she's opened in all 3 games and she is getting runs consistently. That obviously is getting her into fine form before they go to the UK. This is a change of bowling again. At this end, Kim Garth has changed end and is now coming on the Willfield Road end.
I'd say Kim is bringing herself on for one reason, Janice, to try to break up this partnership. She's a wicket taker.
Yes, very wise. She's been our most successful bowler over the last 3 days. 3 for 23 yesterday and 1 for 19 on Sunday, which is terrific figures. Certainly yesterday she her varying of her speed and her length was superb, and it kept the West Indies bats thinking.
Nicely played off her legs. Good running.
Yeah, with the full length delivery up onto leg stump. Matthews just sort of leaned back and sort of knocked it to mid on. Nice cricket. They snuck in a quick single. Interestingly for Kim, they've got a deep mid wicket on the boundary, deep fine leg and deep extra cover.
Lovely soft hands guided there beyond backward point for very good running back for 2 runs. Well played.
Yeah, it was well played. It was a good ball. She just edged it, really, just nudged it, steered it to third man. She knowing that the fielder's back there on the boundary, and it's an easy a couple of runs. Again, it's the same ball up on the leg stump, and they come through for the single. It's nudged into mid-wicket, and they take a single. I think the West Indies are probably struggling with the conditions here, Miriam, a little bit, because it is cold. One of them, what their media officer said to me, that normally when the weather's like this in the West Indies, they don't leave the house.
They were looking for those finger warmers recently as well, Janice, and their manager. I think she has to go to a fishing shop to get those.
We all like to keep our fingers warm, Miriam, because we can then spin the ball.
It's a lovely slow ball there by Kim Garth. Well bowled.
It is one of the features of Kim's bowling, particularly in this series, which is a joy to watch, is the variation in the speed of her bowling. We know that she can bend her back and bowl extremely quickly, but it's the variation of speed, and she does it without changing the speed of her run-up.
Oh, it's a beautiful shot off her legs. Well fielded.
That's well fielded by Lara Moritz again. And Kim is targeting the leg stump The West Indies, Hayley Matthews certainly is not. She's not struggling to play that shot. She plays it beautifully, but they're only getting a single each time.
Once you cut off the boundaries, Janice, in your over, you've had a very good over.
Ooh. Again, the same ball, the same shot. It was a little bit in the air from Shadeen Nation, and it went past Lara. I think she may have lost it. It's been whipped in there, and it's been fielded by umpire Baig. We would have had overthrows. That's 6 off the over, and after 9 overs, the West Indies are 61 for 1. Again, they're sort of motoring along nicely, Miriam. If you were the batting side, you'd be happy with this.
Be very happy with that. They don't look like they're in any trouble, really, Janice. They're just taking their ones when they can. They're hitting a bad ball for 4 and for 6. Running well between the wickets. I'd say they'd be very pleased with this start, yes. Bit of drizzle coming down now, Janice.
Yes, I think so. You can see their bench are starting to sort of shout a little bit of encouragement, a little few instructions. I would think that they want to push on this score. They're always trying to improve what they did in the game before. Yeah, that's Moritz again. Nice length, a big swing and a miss from Shadeen Nation. She'd want to watch out because Mary Walden is sharp behind the stumps, going to take the catch.
I'm wondering why. I mean, it was a good length ball outside off stump, but there's nobody. She was aiming to go over cover with that, Janice, and she just missed. So the intent is still there for Shadeen. She's getting on with it.
Big full toss, and it got what it deserved, a big smack down to Cow Corner for 4 runs. Again, struggling with her length, Lara Moritz. She needs to sort of get that consistency, Miriam, in her length.
She does, which she'll get with experience, Janice, because she's a good pace. She's putting her back into it. Oh, it's on the replay. Yeah, at this level, Janice, you're not going to get away with bowling deliveries, full tosses like that.
Interestingly, I think she sort of fell away on delivery. I think that's probably what did it. Well done.
Got a hand to that at backward point.
A ball outside the off stump, nicely cut to point, but it was well fielded. Well fielded by Anna Kerrison, who yesterday was plucked from her couch because of the injury to Laura Delaney and was put into the starting 11. And she certainly has stepped up to the mark and is up to standard very quickly.
She hadn't time to have any nerves, Janice, I don't think, yesterday. She did very well.
No, certainly, yeah. She certainly slipped into the playing mode very, very easily. Good length ball there from Moritz. That's a better length. Matthews playing it back down into the ground to mid off. No run. That's a better length, Miriam.
It is indeed. And I think she's only gone for five this over, Jan. If she could finish it out now, that's the length she wants to bowl. You're making the batsmen then use their feet and do some work. That's the length she wants, short of a length.
Again, Matthews is going to try and hit anything that's any way wayward. But again, it's not a bad over from Lara Moritz. There's 6 off it so far. In the middle order of an innings, that's not too bad.
Considering it's included a full toss, take that out of it. It's been an excellent over.
Short of a length, smashed out to the cover boundary. And that's Shauna Kavanagh out there, patrolling out there. That's her favourite spot. That's the end of the over. After 10 overs, the West Indies are 68 for 1. Again, another thing, Miriam, about this Irish attack is that they continue to rotate their bowlers, which is nice. I think there's a change of bowling now at this end, the Willfield Road end, and it's Anna Kerrison coming on.
They do that a lot in T20, don't they? Between starting with spinners and then maybe giving people a couple of overs and changing it. In some cases, they change every over.
Yeah. Anna Kerrison is an off-break bowler. So, again, more spin. With the change in the bowling, there's now a change in the commentary, and we welcome back Andy Leonard.
Thanks, Janice, and not just me. I've got a very special guest in the commentary position with us here as the rain just drizzles down in Pembroke. Delighted to be joined by, unfortunately, a limping and very much on crutches and in what I'm going to refer to as a moon boot. Don't do any damage as you sit down. We've got the Irish skipper, Laura Delaney. Laura, most importantly, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for having me.
just getting the crutches off there, and it was a really nasty incident on Sunday for those just joining us for the first time. The Irish skipper, you were bowling in your follow-through. The ball was driven back to you powerfully and it struck the inside of your right leg.
Yeah, unfortunately so. I just didn't have time to pick my ankle up quick enough. I thought it was okay, but then when our physio had a quick look at it, I needed to be sent off for a quick scan. So
yeah, you went straight up the road to the hospital. What was the prognosis? What have they said?
Unfortunately, I have a small fracture, so obviously out for the rest of the series. But I'm hoping to be back for the start of the Zimbabwe series at the start of July.
Yeah, we've got the Irish captain Laura Delaney with us, but action on the pitch. We've got the off breaks of Anna Kerrison bowling in her second T20I, and Anna Kerrison was the one who was jettisoned into the squad in your place and straight into the team.
Yeah, and I think she was a little nervous. She bowled well yesterday, but I think she was quite nervous coming into the squad, as you would be. But hopefully she does a good job here today.
Yeah, very difficult for spinners. Half a chance at mid-wicket, put down. I think that's Laura Moritz there at mid-wicket. A great effort. Could have been a crucial wicket for Ireland. So close.
Yeah, absolutely. Haley Matthews, I think, is going to look to push on here. That would have been a key wicket for us.
Let's take a look at the replay. It was a full toss. It was hit powerfully to Laura Moritz, well above her head. She got her two hands up. She did get two hands to it, but it went down. Got quite a lot of rain now across the ground. The umpires having a look at each other. And poor old Laura Delaney next to me, she's got the hood up because she's out underneath the tent. I'm not being too gentlemanly. Come on in, sneak in under the tent next to me here. So we've got the Irish skipper Laura Delaney with us. She's unfortunately injured for the second two games. We've got Anna Kerrison bowling to Shadeen Nation, who gets a single. Talk to us about the series away from your injury. Have you been pleased with the performance of your youthful Irish squad?
Yeah, I think the way that we've approached the game, all three games with the fielding, I've been really impressed. The first day we were 19 for 1 off the first 6. I think in the power play we've been pretty much outstanding. Celeste Rack at the top of the order for me has done a fantastic job. Probably a bit more here of 10 overs than we would have liked. Still a lot of work to do with our fielding, but overall pretty happy with how we've competed with the ball in the field.
You're ranked 10th in the world, and there's no doubting the quality and talent of this West Indies side. They're ranked 4th in the world. Do you enjoy the challenges of playing some of the world's best sides?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's also great to watch how these sides go about their game. When the West Indies go out to bat, you can see the intent that they go out with each ball. So yeah, from that point of view, it's always great to play against these best sides at home.
Gonna have another change in bowling because Louise Little back into the attack. Can't overstate just how youthful a side it is that you have here, Dellers. The average age of, well, if you take Mary Waldron out of the conundrum, less than 19, about 19 and a half. So what is it like being the leader of such a young team?
Yeah, look, I think it's, as I said to the girls, this series is part of a much bigger picture for us. We have our qualifiers at the end of the year, but so much raw talent that's in our group at the moment, and I'm really excited to see where we go over the course of the summer.
It's a busy summer you've got lined up because Zimbabwe women are coming over for a series. You've also got a quadrangular that Richard Holdsworth, the performance director, was telling us about later, but surely all of that's building up towards the World T20 qualifiers in Scotland at the end of August. Yeah,
which is our main focus, but for us to have Zimbabwe, who we're kind of on par with here at home at the start of July for 3 50 over games and 3 T20s, will be a really competitive series for us.
Powered down the ground by Nation. It's going to go towards long on. That's good work from Gabby Lewis. Keeps it to just a single. How difficult a qualifier will that be? 8 sides, but just 2 qualification spots. But what a prize. Australia 2020 for the 2020 World Cup.
Yeah, as Shiel said earlier, we've been fortunate enough to qualify for the last 2. However, I think this qualifiers is going to be quite tricky. Obviously, a different side going into it. But I'm pretty confident with...
That's going to have to go all the way, and I think we're the first one over the wall. It's going to be signalled no ball. Louise Little struggling with the wet ball. It was a waist-high full toss, judged over waist-height by the 2 umpires, and Haley Matthews has smashed that over the famous Pembroke wall in Dublin. Difficult stuff. You could see as soon as she let go of the ball, Louise Little, she threw her eyes to the sky. Yeah. Difficult in these conditions for the bowlers.
It is, yeah. I think we have a few towels out there. We are kind of used to this weather, unfortunately. But, it just needs to get through our action there.
Because it was a no ball, we are going to have a free hit. I'm here talking to Laura Delaney, the Irish captain, as the reserve balls are brought on with that ball sailing down into the Pembroke Gardens, down the wall here. That's the third umpire bringing those on, Phil Thompson. And we have a replacement ball. The rain really coming down a bit heavier now. Let's hope we don't have a delay in play. The two umpires coming together. Very keen to get this game in though, Laura, because this is superb practice for the Irish side.
Yeah, and I think the West Indies will be keen to get this game in as well before they head to the UK. But I think we may just be coming off.
Yeah, the two umpires just having a look towards the skies, and this rain doesn't seem to be easing off, and perhaps influenced by that waist-high full toss. Louise Little clearly didn't have full control over that ball. Very difficult with a wet ball. And maybe a good decision from the two umpires, because just as they've called the covers on, the rain comes down a little heavier. So we are going to have a break in play. But let's take a look at the scorecard now. Just see how this innings has gone so far for the West Indies. Ireland, remember, they won the toss this afternoon. It was a delayed toss. About 15 minutes before 4 o'clock we had a toss. But Laura, can you just tell us about the quality of a batter like Hayley Matthews?
Yeah, I think she's really hit her stride today. 37 in the 11th over, and I think she's going to look to push on now in the next few overs if the girls get back out there. Stephanie Taylor as well, another one to come in who batted incredibly well there on Sunday. So yeah, they've got quite a strong batting lineup.
Yeah, West Indies women really on top at the moment in this third Hanley Energy T20 International Series match between Ireland and West Indies women. Let's take a look at the Irish bowling figures. Dellers, as you said, Celeste Rack opening up with spin has really worked for Ireland in this series.
Yeah, definitely at home as well. The slow pitches, I think, are more suited towards our style of bowling. And I think the way that Celeste Rack has come in and the control that she's shown over the last few games has really stood to us as a team.
Yeah, that's the match summary at the moment. We're going to have a rain delay. Remember, we have probably about 30 minutes, 45 minutes to play with before we'll start to lose overs. Coming towards the height of the summer in Ireland, and I use those words, summer in inverted commas, Dallas, because it doesn't feel like summer right now.
No,
that's
definitely not.
That's the state of play. West Indies women, they're 81 for 1 in the 12th over. We're going to have a break in play here, and we're going to come back to you with some updates after these messages. Hello and welcome back to Sydney Parade and Pembroke Cricket Club. In a very grey and overcast Dublin, we had quite a heavy shower there. The match summary on your screen, as you can see, West Indies women interrupted after being inserted to bat first. They're 81 for 1 in the 12th over. But the good news is the clouds have disappeared. We did have a heavy rain shower, but with 45 minutes allowed in Twenty20 Internationals, it means that we've lost no overs. So I'm Andrew Leonard. I'll be guiding you through the second half of this innings, and to guide you through this innings with me is the Irish captain, who is on crutches to my right. Laura Delaney's here with me.
Thanks for having me.
We've got Louise Little with the ball in hand, half her over to finish her third over, and Hayley Matthews going to continue with aggression. It was a free hit for the first ball back after that no ball that ended. It was pulled for 6 into the deep. Deller's not ideal going on and off in between the showers.
No, but I actually think it'll play more into our hands than it will to the batters. The batters were quite set just before the rain came, and now they're going to have to look to rebuild again.
Yeah, so Louise Little, the local Pembroke opening bowler, just 15 years of age. Costly over so far with that no ball that was pulled for 6 into the deep. And the aggression's going to continue, this time from Nation. Going to be another boundary 4, down on one knee, heaved into the leg side. A real baptism of fire for Louise Little here, Laura.
Yeah, I think the next few overs are going to be quite crucial for us.
See the replay there on your screen, just angling into the pads of Nation. She's been really good, promoted up the order today, batting at 3, Shadeen Nation.
Yeah, they've changed their order a couple of times over the last couple of days, so it'll be interesting to see who comes in next should we get another wicket.
So the captain with her pads on, Stefanie Taylor, maybe at 4. Better from Louise Little, full hit down the ground, just going to be a single to end the 12th over. Score now 87 for 1. So Laura, our conversation was rudely interrupted by the weather, but we were talking about the the T20 World Cup qualifiers. What would it mean to you and your side to go to Australia?
Yeah, I think it's something that we definitely have our eye on. We know that the qualifiers is going to be quite a tough tournament for us, especially given the fact that this is our first somewhere as a team. But I'm actually really looking forward to it. We have the Zimbabwe series at the start of July, and then we also had a quadrangular series in Holland the week before the qualifiers. So a lot of games to get us into form before the qualifiers.
It's going to be Anna Kerrison to bowl some off breaks from the Wilfield Road end. We spoke before about how young the side and the squad that you have is. Is that something you're enjoying? Chance to set a new era for Irish cricket?
Yeah, myself and Aaron spoke yesterday actually, and when we had a look out onto the pitch, I think there were only 4 players over the age of 20, so quite a young outfit. But I have to say they bring a new focus. They're very enthusiastic, and I am actually really excited about this summer. I think it's going to be great.
Seemed like the fielding standards are really good, particularly on Sunday in the first T20I.
Yeah, I think.
Down the ground, that's a powerful stroke, and that's going to fly into the deep. A super diving stop from Shauna Kavanagh, going to save at least 2 runs.
Yeah, Shauna Kavanagh, one of our most athletic fielders, out in the deep and cleaned up by Ina Montowi.
Fuller this time, hit on the pad, no appeal, and they're going to run through probably for a leg by unless there was an under edge. There wasn't. Azam Ali Beg correctly signalling leg by. Laura, let's talk about these professional contracts, something that have been in the pipeline for quite a while, but 6 of you now on professional deals with Cricket Ireland for the first time.
Yeah, if I'm honest, I didn't think it would come in during my playing time, so to have been selected as one of the players is a huge is something that I'm delighted with and very proud of. I think the work that the players that have put in prior to our generation, they've kind of paved the way for this next step. So I suppose all of us that have received it are very grateful for the hard work that went in before. And yeah, I think giving us an opportunity to train on a regular basis is...
Beautifully bowled by Anna Kerrison, beats the attempted cut shot through to Mary Waldron. What does it actually mean on a day-to-day basis for you and Gabby and Mary Waldron and the 6 players who now have these contracts?
So there's a few of us that are on a 3-day contract and a few that are on a couple of days, but we're mostly based out in Abbottstown, which is where the high performance centre is. So we're out there using the gym or using the nets, using the bowling machines, and I suppose just having more time to focus on different aspects of our game.
With that full-time or professional status, do you feel it adds a layer of pressure?
I suppose having the captaincy, there's always an extra layer of pressure there. So for me now, this probably doesn't, but I'd say for some of the other girls, it definitely does. It's going to challenge us more. I suppose we'll expect more of ourselves, having, I suppose, put in a lot more training sessions ahead of each series now that we go into.
Plenty for aspire to for the younger generation coming through, in terms of, we talk about someone like Sophie McMahon who's coming back into bowl here, just 20 years of age. She could be looking for a contract in future years.
Yeah, definitely, and I envy the younger girls and the position that Cricket Ireland are in at the moment. For those that have come into the squad, we have so much support there, whether it's mental, physical, we have physios, access to that kind of stuff that we haven't always had, and also now with the contracts means that players can train on a regular basis and up their game.
You're just 26 years of age yourself. Do you feel like a bit of a veteran in this squad?
I absolutely
so young?
do, yeah. We play football in our warm-ups and we have oldies and youngies, and I have to say the oldies group is still pretty young, but yeah, I do feel like an old one on the team at the moment.
Firmly in the oldies camp there, alongside Mary Waldron perhaps.
Yes, and Shauna Kavanagh as well.
Yeah, we're here talking to the Irish women's captain, Laura Delaney from Leinster Cricket Club. Unfortunately, Laura had a very nasty injury on Sunday in the first T20I, so she's missed out. She's sitting next to me with 2 crutches and a big moon boot on her right foot. And Sophie McMahon gets ready to bowl the 14th over the innings. Going to be more leg byes to the total as strays onto the pad to start. Just a leg bye signalled by the umpire, Mark Hawthorne. How impressed have you been by this West Indies team? They're ranked 4th in the world, but they can beat any side in their day. Yeah,
and I think they showed that a couple of years ago when they won the World T20 out in. But I also feel for us playing against a side like this at home it's obviously going to be a huge challenge for us, but we also get to watch some of the best players in the world and see how they go about their business.
Hit into the leg side. There's a fielder down there. It's Shauna Kavanagh. And it's not Shauna Kavanagh, it's Una Raymond Hoey. It just beats the attempted stop. It kind of skidded on off the slippery grass. Misfortune. Let's take a look at the replay. It was shorter in length and pulled away. That's where Nation really likes it. She's moved to 39 off just 29 deliveries. Una Raymond Hoey, one of Ireland's better fielders, unlucky there.
Yeah, I think we'll be disappointed, if I'm honest, with some of the fielding today, and also yesterday we dropped a few too many catches, but also gives us something to work on now when we finish this series.
Is it difficult to back up and play such regular matches, 2 back-to-back T20 internationals after the first game of the series? It's 3 T20s in 4 days.
I think that's part of the game nowadays, and I think once you get into a groove, you just want to hit the ground and keep going. I know we were waiting a while for the first game to start, so I think once you're in a series, the games just fly by. But no, I think back-to-back games are just part of the way the tournaments go these days.
Nicely bowled by Sophie McMahon, clipped off her legs by Hayley Matthews into the leg side. There's protection out there. 3 fielders in the deep on the leg side, long on, deep mid-wicket, and a deep backward square leg. Una Raymond Hoey coming more towards fine leg. Difficult position in the game here for Ireland. West Indies really flying, looking for their biggest total of the series so far.
Yeah, and we really need a wicket now to break this partnership before we go into the last 5 overs, because I reckon the West Indies will start to put the foot down once they get into the 15th.
Nicely bowled by Sophie McMahon. Looks very undaunted, not just with the ball in hand, but also with the bat yesterday. She was impressive, Sophie McMahon.
Yeah, she came back into the side on Sunday, and I have to say, pace off the ball against the West Indies has proven to be more effective for us. She's done a great job with the ball, and yeah, she came out yesterday, wasn't phased at all. So fair play to her coming back in and doing so well.
Hit down the ground, and it's going to go over the head of the fielder at mid-off. That's Laura Moritz. And Gabby Lewis comes around from long on. Super piece of fielding from her. Cuts off the boundary. Keeps it to 2 to end the 14th over. That's the West Indies 100 up. 100 for 1 after 14 overs. Laura, can I ask you a bit about the structure and the setup of women's cricket here in Ireland? It's quite predominantly based down in Dublin, but there's now a Super 3 series, which is essentially the interprovincial competition, which is a higher level than the club game.
Yeah, so the game is definitely growing. We have teams up north that have improved their standard. For us, our domestic league includes our Super 3s, which I suppose is the bridge just beneath international cricket. We have 3 teams: the Typhoons, the Scorchers and the Dragons. We played our first round of Super 3 T20s not last weekend but the weekend before. The Dragons came out on top with 2 out of 2 and the Typhoons 1 out of 2. So yeah, look, that for us is the gap that bridges Super 3s to international. So that's where we really want our international players to perform.
Yeah, that's the Super 3 competition. Toyota Super 3s. Hayley Matthews, that's a lovely shot over the offside. Just goes inside out over extra cover as Celeste Rack comes back into the attack. The runs continue to flow for the West Indies, and they're coming at a quick pace. Let's take a look at the replay. Glorious stuff from Hayley Matthews, and she's showing why she's such a star of the women's game.
Yeah, absolutely. And from the video footage that we've looked at, once Matthews hits her stride, that's a strong shot option for her. She's obviously played in the Women's Big Bash as well, so she's played all around the world, and a key player for us now to get out before we head into these last 5 overs.
Drag shorter this time by Celeste Rack, hit into the leg side. It's going to be a huge boundary 6. It soars over the Turkish airline boards. One of the shots of the day. It was dragged down by Celeste Rack. Very difficult, and that's 50 up for Hayley Matthews, coming off just 41 balls.
And here's the replay now. Yeah, smoked by Matthews into the deep there.
Very difficult for a leg spinner, particularly with a wet ball.
Yeah, to grip that and to get it down the other end, especially when Matthews now is putting her foot on the pedal.
Yeah, big pressure on this young Irish side. They're missing their captain, Laura Delaney, because she's talking to me here in the commentary box, injured in the first T20I. Brave from Celeste Rack, but it's going to be more runs. It's going to be back-to-back maximums. That one soars into the fence down by the pavilion near our commentary position. Simply wonderful batting from Hayley Matthews. What a star she is. Back-to-back 6s, 14 runs off 3 balls, Laura.
Yeah, we really need a wicket now.
Yeah, that was arguably the shot of the day. You said she likes it inside out over extra cover. That's exactly what she did. A full flourish. Huge pressure on Celeste Rack now. The first time she's really
been put under pressure,
been targeted during this series. Looks for another maximum hit down the ground towards mid-off, but it's going to be another 6. We've gone 6-6-6 in Pembroke at Sydney Parade. Huge pressure on Celeste Rack. Hayley Matthews, she's putting on a show.
I reckon both of the batters had a chat before the start of this over and probably decided that this is the over and this is the bowler that they're going to attack.
22 runs off 4 balls, and we're going to have a dead ball because we were just talking about how difficult it is for a leg spinner to grip the ball. That one slipped out of her hand and it's gone backwards.
Yeah, not an ideal start for that ball for Raki.
Yeah, but that's the pressure that she's under because Hayley Matthews has hit 22 runs off just 4 deliveries. Drags her length back, gets away with it. Going to be a dot. Big cheers from the bench for that top ball from the Irish side, but West Indies really getting into it here.
Yeah, I reckon Raki's just has in her mind now she wants to close out this over.
And good finish from Rack, so no damage done off the last 2 balls. 2 dots to finish. That ends the 15th. West Indies women 122 for 1. $15 overs gone. Sydney Parade, West Indies women, they're putting on a show, and Hayley Matthews with 22 runs off the 15th over of Celeste Rack. We bid farewell to Laura Delaney. We really enjoyed her thoughts. And for the first time today, a mad dash from the office. Welcome to Mark Jones, to my right.
Good afternoon, Lenny. Some fabulous batting there in that last over, some tremendous shots. Love the one inside out over extra cover. Always a personal favourite of mine.
Yeah, definitely the shot of the day from Hayley Matthews. And we spoke about how she's come back into the squad after a knee injury. Taking a little while to get going at the start of the series, but really showing why she's such a star of the women's game.
Yeah, very much so. It's always difficult coming back after injury. You know, you'd like to just to carry on from where you left off, but sometimes that's not always the case. But she's really put the foot to the...
Yeah, the Irish captain, Kim Garth, has brought herself back on, and she's going to go to death bowling right away. Starts with a really good Yorker.
Yeah, she bowled really well at the death yesterday, Lenny. Potentially left one out there. She should have come on a little bit later, maybe. So she bowled the last over as opposed to the second or the third last over. But today, I think she's timed it right today. I think, is she? Yeah, she's 2 left. So.
Shorter cutaway by Shadeen Nation, who's been really impressive as well. Elevated up the order. A wild throw comes in from the deep from Shauna Kavanagh. That wet ball causing problems for the bowlers and fielders.
Well backed up though by Sophie McMahon in the deep. She was alert to the danger and came in. What do you think, Delaney? Can we keep this under 170 from here?
It's been a difficult hour and 30 minutes or so for Ireland after winning the toss this afternoon. Kim Garth decided to bowl first primarily because there was rain around. She felt Duckworth Lewis might help her side in a chase of the West Indies total. But I think the West Indies captain, Stefanie Taylor, she was happy to be able to bat first for a third time. Hit into the air, down towards the fielder at long off. It's going to be a chance. And it's dropped. It's been put down by Sophie McMahon, and it's going to go for a boundary 4. It was a tough chance, but it did go down and rolled onto the rope for 4 runs.
Yeah, it was up in the air for a long time and completely misjudged there by McMahon down at the long off. We just see it here now in the replay. Big swing, caught the edge of the bat, or sorry, the bottom of the bat, way up in the air, and it's completely misjudged there by McMahon at in the outfield.
There's a swirling wind, and in fact it's going to bring about a change in the field as well, because Sophie McMahon's going to come up into the circle. I think that's Anna Kerrison who's been sent back to long off now. Shorter pulled into the deep. There's 2 fielders out there, but it's going to dissect the 2 of them. Back-to-back boundaries, and that's Hayley Matthews' career best. She moves to 71 not out.
Lovely bit of placement there from Matthews. Just rocked back onto the back foot, a little bit shorter this time from Garth, and dispatched to the deep square boundary. We'll see it here in the replay, Lenny. Yeah, it was outside off stump, but a little bit. I think she tried a slower ball, which just didn't quite work, and well put away.
Pressure on the Irish skipper. Good bowling full into the block hole. Nowhere for Matthews to get that apart from down. And there's a mix-up between the fielders. Could be a chance. The throw comes in to Mary Waldron. Not quite in time. They'll get back in time. Shadeen Nation wanted the second. Hayley Matthews didn't.
It was a very bizarre one, wasn't it? It was a comfortable 2 there if both of them went, but Matthews just looked to have absolutely zero interest in going for 2. Just took the 1 and there was no moving, was there?
She might have miscounted the balls. I think she thought it was the last ball of the over. She wanted to keep the strike, perhaps.
Happened to me a few times back in the day, all right?
Yeah, career best now for Hayley Matthews. Topping her innings of 70. So her average moves into the 20s for the first time as well. Short pulled into the deep. It's going to be more runs. The short ball tactic not working. Plows into the wall for a maximum 6.
Yeah, I think Kim got that one completely wrong. Again, tried the slower ball. You see on the replay, yeah, tried a slower ball bouncer maybe, but it just didn't. It just sat up nicely and asked to be hit and was well put away by Nation. 16
runs coming from that over. 2 back-to-back expensive overs and pressure on Ireland and a little bit of panic in the ranks.
Yeah, that's 38 off the last 2, Lenny, if I'm right. Really what Ireland didn't need. They need wickets, and they need wickets fast. They need to break this partnership and get some new batsmen in.
They've threatened to do this throughout the series, West Indies, with the power hitting that they possess. You can see as they've become more accustomed to the local conditions, in this third T20I, they're well on course for a record total in the series. Could they be thinking about 200 even, perhaps?
Well, if these 2 stay in, there's no reason why they couldn't get up to 200. As I say, the last 2 hours went for 38. Change of bowling here. Kerrison coming back on. Ireland really do need to get a wicket. Need to get a wicket fast to break this partnership.
Anna Kerrison in just her second T20I, having made her debut yesterday. She went wicketless in the 2 overs she bowled yesterday. Can she pick up a maiden wicket today?
Ireland have bowled very well in patches across the whole series.
That's hammered down the ground. It's going to be another 6. That one's going to soar into the gardens. Hayley Matthews, absolutely sensational striking from her. She moves to 78.
Bit of a commentator's curse there. I said Ireland have bowled well in patches over the course of the series, but which they have done. Here's a replay again. Just a hop, skip, and a jump down the track, and absolutely dispatched that over long off for 6. Fantastic shot.
Flatter this time from Kerrison. That's good. No elevation for it to work with. A misfield though from Celeste Rack. Backward square leg, so they'll get through for the single. Hayley Matthews, she's really ticking.
Yeah, it's always the way, isn't it? When things aren't going your way, they keep on not going your way. Nation on strike here in 49, Lenny.
Tossed up by Anna Kerrison. Beats the batter through to the keeper. Nation looking to get to a T20I 50.
A little bit of nerves there, I think, Andrew. That was there to be hit and just try to guide it down the short third man for the single to bring up the 50, but swing and a miss.
Yeah, that's going to be 50 for Shadeen Nation, the second of her career. Super bowling into the block hole, but worked into the leg side. Nation raises the bat to her colleagues. It's a second T20I 50 for the Jamaican.
Yeah, superb innings this time from Nation, and had a great strike rate as well. Brings up her fifth? Her second T20 International half century, and I think there's a few more to go as well.
3.2 overs left for these Irish bowlers here. Short pulled into the deep. It looks like it's going to be more runs. Una Raymond Hoey has half a chance. She pulls out of it because it was always going over her head for 6. The runs continue to flow for Hayley Matthews. She's surely looking at the chance of a century.
Very much so. That's up to 85 now. Seeing the replay, just rocked onto the back foot and absolutely hammered that one over, kind of a wideish long on for 6. With 3.5 overs, 3 overs and 1 ball to go. There's no reason why she can't bring up her 100.
That's better from Anna Kerrison. Flatter onto a length, but another fumble and misfield this time from Sophie McMahon at backward point.
Yeah,
will allow Hayley Matthews to keep the strike. Ends the 17th over. West Indies 153 for 1.
Yeah, Ireland just falling apart a little bit at the moment. They need to regroup for the last 3 overs. The fielding has not been great.
Kim Garth's going to keep bringing the changes in the bowling. She's going to take herself out of the attack. She's going to go back to Laura Moritz. It's an enviable position for any of the Irish bowlers at this stage of the game.
Well, I don't think you'd be queuing up to bowl now at this stage, would you, Lenny? It's you're on a hiding to nothing unless Ireland can sneak a wicket out, eke one out some way, a little bit of a run out, anything. The field is well spread. They have that ring of 3 on the offside. Is Kim going to go? Kim's going to make it a ring of 4, leaving the leg side very exposed. 3 fielders out in the deep, so if you just knock one into the ring, it's a comfortable 2. But I have a funny feeling they're going to be looking to go over the ring here.
Cut away. That's a glorious shot, but a super stop at backward point. I think that's Celeste Rack with the diving stop. She saves 3 runs.
Direct hit could have been a run out as well. That was tight. She was kind of treading water there going up the wicket.
Matthews moves to 87. Unlucky down in Australia, known as an unlucky number.
Short this time.
Cut away. It's going to be more runs. It's going to be 4 to the total because third man's not in place. It flies off the outside edge. Misfortune for Ireland, but more runs for the West Indies.
Well, I think you make your own look as well. They've been really, really positive. See on the replay here, and actually moved into her a little bit and caught the outside edge and ran away down to third man for 4.
Yeah, third man and fine leg in the circle, trying to give protection down the ground and on the leg side. No timing this time from Shadeen Nation. They're going to run quickly between the wickets, but they decide against the second as Louise Little comes in quickly off the wall. Just 2 T20 centuries in the history of the game for the West Indies, both coming from Deandra Dotton, who of course isn't here with an injury. Can Hayley Matthews join her on the list?
13 needed, and what have we got? 12, 15 balls to go. She's on strike at the moment, and the way she's hitting them, there's absolutely no reason why she can't. But you can tell the last couple of shots, she's obviously a little bit nervous.
Yeah, can't find her timing that time. Comes off the inside edge. And good fielding from Una Raymond Hoey will keep them to just a single. Laura Moritz not bowling a bad over here.
She's impressed me during the series, Lenny. She's bowled very full. She's mixed it up when she can. She's done well. Considering that, Ireland have never really been on top of the ball at any stage, bar maybe the first 5 overs in the first game.
And a good finish to the over from Moritz. Going to be a dot ball. In fact, we got 1 ball to come still. Jonesy, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. 13 balls left in the innings. 200 probably a far way away, but already a record total in this series.
Yeah, and it's just the wickets column, I think, that have really played to the West Indies' strengths. They've allowed themselves to free their shoulders and just play the shots all the way around the park. Swing and a miss this time to end the 18th over, and the score moves on to 160 for 1. Good over from the Ritz at this stage of the game, just the 7 coming from it.
Yeah, good stuff from Laura Moritz. 18 overs gone. West Indies 160 for 1. They lost the toss this afternoon. They were stuck into bat. Is Kim Garth regretting that decision now?
Hindsight's a great man, isn't he? It's always a difficult one, but weather around and the potential to lose overs. And DRS coming into play, you're always better off batting second. But it's going to be a huge total now for the Irish to chase down.
A change of ends for Sophie McMahon. She's going to come back on from the Willfield Road end. Just 2 overs left in this innings for the West Indies. Fielders running everywhere. Mary Waldron marshalling some of the troops. Vice captain today to Kim Garth. Going to be McMahon's final over of her spell. She's the only wicket taker so far today. Heaved into the deep again. It's going to be another boundary, and this one's going to fly all the way for 6, straight down the ground. The straight pull shot. Wonderful power from Hayley Matthews.
Yeah, it was just too short here from Sophie. She needs to get the ball much fuller. We'll just see here in the replay. It's kind of floated down a little bit, and she just rocked onto the back foot and absolutely hammered that over mid-on again. Seems to be her go-to shot.
Yeah, it was the straight pull. It went very straight down the ground. Matthews into the 90s.
Would she try and do a one shot, you think? No.
Just poked into the offside for a single. She moves to 95, and the way Shadeen Nation striking the ball, Nation will be looking to clear the ropes as well. 10 balls remain now in the innings.
Do you not think she'll be looking to get her mate back on strike? No. Each woman to themselves.
Hit into the leg side. There's a fielder out there, but it's going to fly to her right. It's going to be 1 bounce for 4. A really good effort out there. I think it's Shauna Cavan in the deep, but she can't cut off and prevent the boundary.
As you see in the replay here, I think she was a little bit slow moving to her right. She might have just picked it up a little bit late and a bit of an afterthought. She was never going to get there, I don't think, Lenny, but a superb shot into the deep. And the West Indies move on to 171 now.
Great diving effort at the stop, but Kavanagh couldn't get there. The runs continue to flow for the West Indies. It's better from Sophie McMahon. Just going to be a single down the ground. Hayley Matthews on 95. Off the outside edge, keeps Matthews to a dot. A little bit of the nervous 90s coming into play, Jonesy.
Very much so. It's much better length though as well from Sophie. She got that one much fuller, a little bit wider, so she's not giving Matthews a chance to play it into the leg side. I think though there could be a big shot coming this ball. Last ball of the 19th over.
Short pulled by Matthews. Yet to watch that. She's just going to get a single because it's well fielded by Laura Moritz.
Ooh,
Direct hit would have been close. And for the second time today, Azam Ali Beg has worn it in the leg. Little bit of misfortune for him. That's going to end the 19th over. Just one to go now. West Indies women 173 for 1.
Yeah, I think the umpire certainly needs to work on his footwork there, doesn't he? Never been renowned for it as Azim.
Azam just getting into good positions to adjudicate the run out, but he's been struck by a few of the errant throws that have come through to him. Going to be the final over of the innings here. The third Hanley Energy T20 International between Ireland and the West Indies. It's going to be Laura Moritz to bowl it to Hayley Matthews, who's on 96. Hit into the deep. It's gone wide of the fielder at long on, and a diving effort. She dives over the ball, and that's going to be history for Hayley Matthews. The third ever T20I century for the West Indies. Her first, and just the second woman to ever do it.
Absolutely fantastic effort there from Hayley Matthews. 100 off 59 balls. Sensational knock.
Yeah, she takes her helmet off. She lifts her arms to the sky. What a knock that is from Hayley Matthews, just 21 years of age, the Jamaican. The third century in West Indies women's T20 international history.
And again, too short from Moritz and pumped into the deep square boundary.
What a knock this has been from Hayley Matthews. Gets back for 2. The record for the West Indies, it's Deandra Dotton. She's got the 200s, and both of them 112. So Hayley Matthews, she's got 4 balls to get past her teammate's mark. Full toss hit into the leg side. It's going to be 4 more. Skews off the outside edge. No third man in place. Matthews moves to 106.
Just waiting for the signal there. Was it a no ball? No, I don't think so. It was very close to being a no ball. Hopefully get to see it on the replay. Yeah, the replay on now. We'll see if that was dipping down just below. Yeah, it probably was. So no ball, no free hit. 3 balls to go. And 7 runs needed for the record. And it'll be a thoroughly deserved record. She's batted beautifully today, Danny.
Powered into the leg side. There's 2 fielders out there. Gabby Lewis is going to sprint in. And Shadeen Nation wanted to come back for 2, but I think Hayley Matthews has run out of puff.
I think she's a bit tired, all right.
Yeah, she's been out there a long time. The entire innings, of course. 62 balls, 107. She's likely to end up. Can Nation get her back onto strike? She'd need a 6 off the last ball of the innings then.
Well, I have a funny feeling Nation be trying to hit this one over the ropes herself. I wouldn't say they know what the records are and what the high scores are. Oh, full this time.
Full, and it's going to be signalled a no ball. They're going to run through a direct hit. Would have been out. You can be run out off a no ball. Hayley Matthews does fancy the 2, so she's not going to get back on strike. So we're going to have a no ball, 2 runs to Shadeen Nation, 3 runs to the total. This final over just can't end soon enough for Ireland.
Yeah, very nervous, I think, there from Laura Moritz. And even Kim was a little bit nervous at an extra cover there. It is going to be a free hit. You know, I think Kim had enough time to nearly run in and knock the bails off, but she decided on the shot to the stumps, but it was way of the mark.
Yeah, Mark Hawthorne, the umpire, signals a free hit. The penultimate ball of the innings. Full into the block hole, beautifully bowled. Beat Shadeen Nation for a dot. Just 1 ball to go now.
Very nicely bowled this time. Full and straight. That's what you're looking for. But that one probably pitched on the white line, so very well bowled by Laura Moritz. Last ball of the innings now, Lenny. Will we see one final maximum for the West Indies on this tour? And it's Nation on strike.
Hit into the offside. Laura Moritz will finish reasonably well. Going to be a single. Think about coming back for 2, but I think both batters are going to be happy with the not out next to their name. They feel like they've got enough runs. The West Indies, they finish with 188 for 1, just 3 runs shy of their highest ever total. That was made against the Netherlands all the way back in 2010. But wonderful batting, particularly from Hayley Matthews, but also Shadeen Nation. Sensational from the visitors.
Yeah, magnificent effort from the West Indies batters today. Just to lose the 1 wicket in a 20 over game is a sensational effort.
The partnership worth 162 between these two. After Brittany Cooper's early wicket, Sophie McMahon was the only one with any joy for the Irish bowlers. And the West Indies, they finish their batting in this Hanley Energy T20 International Series with their second highest total of all time, 188 for 1. Right on top, and surely going to go on and close out this series now 3-0.
It certainly looks that way. 188 in a T20 is a huge score. Hayley Matthews getting a well-deserved round of applause going off, as is Shaneen Nation. I think the Irish women now need to go out and certainly have some intent. And if they've any hope to chase this down, they need to get off to a flying start. They need Waldron and Gabby Lewis to really hit their straps early doors.
That partnership between Shadeen Nation and Hayley Matthews, the record partnership for the West Indies women in their history. 162 for the second wicket. So historic scenes here at Sydney Parade in Dublin. And a day that's going to live long in the memory for young Hayley Matthews, 21 years of age. The third ever T20I century for the West Indies. A knock she'll never forget.
Absolutely sensational again from Hayley Matthews. 107 off the 63 balls. It'll be a knock she'll remember for the rest of her life, all right, Lenny?
Yeah, and Shadeen Nation, she played her part too. 63 off 46. Powerful shots all around the ground. A partnership of great composure from both of them, but also great skill. Take a look at the Irish bowling figures. Not much joy there, Jonesy.
No, not great, unfortunately, today, Lenny. The pick of the bowlers, I suppose, is Sophia McMahon's 1 for 36 off 4. Everyone else seemed to go the distance. Even Kim Garth, after her great spell on both Sunday and last night, went for 32 in her 3 overs. Surprised she didn't bowl the last over herself, actually, but obviously wants to share that experience around.
Yeah, and good experience for all the Irish bowlers. Probably Sophie McMahon for the third day in a row being the pick of the Irish attack.
I think I just said that.
Yeah, thanks, Jonesy, and that's the summary. We'll just take a little bit of a look. 188 for 1, West Indies women. So we're going to be back with you in about 5 minutes' time with the Irish chase, where they're going to need 189 to win. Welcome back to Dublin, Ireland for this, the third and final of the Hanley Energy T20 International Series between Ireland women and West Indies women. If you're just joining us, you missed fireworks from the West Indies women batsmen, particularly Hayley Matthews and Shadeen Nation. Hayley Matthews making just the third T20 International century in history for the West Indies. So what a tall task it's going to be for these Irish batters. And to talk us through that task, I've got Clara Shillington, the Irish legend, joining me again. Shiller's really tough watching there from an Irish perspective.
Yeah, it was tough to see the ball being dispatched to all parts of the ground throughout that innings. I thought there was a great start by the Irish girls. I think they were under 6 and over through the power play, and then they just suddenly they have that ability to tee off. I thought Matthews was superb, very hard to bowl to. He probably bowled too short, and anything short she just gets her arms through. And Nation was superb as well.
Did Hayley Matthews remind you a little bit of yourself in your pomp, perhaps?
I absolutely wish.
Some of the striking, not just from Matthews but also from Shadeen Nation, sensational at any level in any form of the sport.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal, the two of them. Matthews got a few yesterday. She missed out on the first day in YM, so I'm sure she was looking to get a big score under her belt before heading off to England. A really superb innings. There was hard to bowl to her. She was putting it to all parts.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment as she celebrated the century. She was a little bit nervous in the 90s, as you can imagine, just 21 years of age. But for Ireland, it's going to be Mary Waldron to take strike. She's batting with Gabby Lewis. Here we go. Shillers, how do you approach a chase like this? 189 to win, the second highest total in West Indies women's history.
I think with the two batters that are out there, I have no doubt that they will go out and go after this total. Obviously, it's a huge ask, but they'll bat with intent, and they'll be looking to do as best they can.
As we've seen throughout the series, pace to open up for the West Indies. Shamelia Connell with the ball in hand, and as we've seen throughout as well, just two fielders outside the circle for the first 6 overs, both on the offside.
Yeah, I thought Mary actually batted superbly well yesterday through the covers, so they've obviously set a field for that today. That's a superb shot there by Mary, just rocking back onto the back foot and playing it down to one of those fielders on the ropes there for one.
Yeah, Karishma Ramarak doing the fielding down at third man, so the two fielders outside the circle are at third man in deep cover. Plenty of space for Gabby Lewis to show us her favourite pull shot. Pull shot on the opening T20I didn't quite work. She was gone for her first ball duck.
Yeah, exactly. But the greatest things about Gabby Lewis is that she'll come back the next day and she'll try the same things, but she'll do them better. It was good to see her yesterday coming in and trying to sweep and reverse sweep the spinner Matthews straight away. So I'm sure she'll go with the same intent today.
Beaten outside the off stump to start. Good pace from Connell immediately. Seen that throughout the series, that the 3 West Indian quicks that have operated have got good bounce from the surfaces at Claremont Road and here at Sydney Parade.
Yeah, they're big tall girls here, and they can bang it into the deck and get a lot more carry than most of our seamers would. Kim would probably get a similar bounce, but no one else is sort of getting up to those levels.
Short again and glided off the face of the bat by Gabby Lewis. She's underway, off the mark with a single. Talk to us about the evolution of the women's game, particularly throughout your career. You made your debut all the way back in 1997. That was 22 years ago, Shillers. How much has the game evolved in that period?
It's a huge difference. It's a professional setup now, and obviously with the girls getting their contracts, they are actually professionals, as we would have liked to said we trained as professionals, even though we weren't.
Wide outside the off stump will be signalled wide. The athleticism, though, that we see on show in the modern game, just simply phenomenal.
It's phenomenal, and no better team to showcase it than the West Indies. They'll have a squad of 14 here. They'll all be super athletes. I know. I think Hayley Matthews was one that had to choose between track and field and cricket. So they all have that athletic ability.
Going to be a dot to finish the first over with a lovely bit of fielding. A backward point from Shemaine Campbell. As we've seen, the West Indies fielding in particular, arguably the strongest of their 3 disciplines.
Absolutely. Was I think one or two drop catches yesterday, but their ground fielding's superb. As we just mentioned, they're hugely athletic. They cover the ground exceptionally quick. You think it might be past them and outstretches an arm, and it can often catch you out. I know there's been a couple of run outs, so hopefully the girls have learnt from that, and maybe calling and judgment of runs will be slightly better today.
After opening the bowling yesterday, Hayley Matthews, possibly because of her century, has given a bit of a rest for the moment. So we're going to have seam from both ends to start. Stacey Ann King's left arm over the wicket. Come back into the squad as the veteran of their side. And the head coach, Henderson Springer, he was telling me the reason for that is he wanted to reward good local domestic form, and she was the player of the series in the domestic competition. Back into the squad after a 3-year absence.
Yeah, fantastic for her. I think believe I'm right in saying it was 2016 that was the last time she played, so phenomenal to stick at her game in the ripe old 30s, but to have that desire to keep getting better, which obviously she has done, and it's great for her to work her way back into this team.
Interestingly, she's going to bowl with the keeper up to the stumps today, so a change from yesterday with the keeper back. Maybe some early pressure on Gabby Lewis. One slip in place. Probably have identified Gabby Lewis as one of Ireland's strongest batters.
Absolutely. Gabby's been phenomenal for the Irish team for the last number of years, showcased her talents in the World Cup in Guyana, so I'm sure they're well aware of that. There's Gabby's infamous pull coming out early. Didn't quite get it past the mid-wicket fielder there.
Yeah, one of two sisters to play international cricket for Ireland, Gabby Lewis and her sister Robin. She's the younger sister, and Gabby will be doing her leaving certificate, her final examinations from school in about a week's time, showing her dedication to the cause for Ireland. And she gets away with a nice clip off her legs into the leg side, a slow outfield because of the rain that we've had. She's going to come back for a couple. West Indies wicketkeeper today, Kaisia Knight. They have 3 wicket keepers in their squad, again just showing the array of and depth of talent they have at their disposal.
That's a great luxury to have, and it's good to see them all getting a run out. I'm sure they're using these games to warm up for England and see where they're at with who they're going to place in that first 11.
Hit towards a cover just short of the fielder. Stefanie Taylor, the West Indies captain, she didn't know whether to go for it, and she ended up doing neither. It goes through her legs. A little bit of fortune for Lewis. Gets a single. We're just seeing if we could bring you the replay of that, but it fell short of the West Indies captain, Stefanie Taylor. I don't think they've been enjoying the cold too much, the West Indies Shillers. There's the replay.
There's the replay, yeah. Ken getting a bit of away swing from the right-hander there, and Gabby probably just pushing away from her body.
It's a change in role for Mary Waldron up the order to open the innings. Something you think she'll thrive at?
I think she'll thrive at it. I know it's a job she's relishing and has certainly been pushing the coach to give her that opportunity for a number of years, trying to knock me off the perch. But I think she batted really well yesterday. She batted with intent. She was innovative, and hopefully she goes well.
Going to be a leg bye this time, straight off the pad of Mary Waldron. We'll wait for Azam Ali Beg's signal. And he does indeed finally signal leg bye. Going to end the second over. Ireland women 7 for none. Claire, I want to talk to you a little bit about the ICC Women's Championship. We had the Cricket Ireland Performance Director Richard Holsworth in with us yesterday, and he was explaining that the current 2017 to 2020 Women's Championship is just 8 teams, but in the future the ICC might look at expanding that to 10. What would that mean for the women's game here in Ireland?
It would be huge. As far as I'm aware, I think it's got across the line that it'll come in 2020, so it's massively important that the Irish team stay in that top 10. It'll mean regular games for that cycle of 3 years, playing against those top teams ahead of us, England, India, South Africa, which are all teams that we can learn massively against, like playing the West Indies here in Ireland. It's, we'll have those regular matches over a 3 year cycle, which would be huge for us.
Yeah, the West Indies women 7th in that table of 8 at the moment. The assistant coach Gus Logie spoke yesterday about how they need to improve their 50 over cricket. T20 tends to be the format of flair that's in favour in the Caribbean in both the men's and women's game.
Yeah, I was just going to say that they're similar to their men's side in that they can slightly blow hot and cold, which is ironic when they've a 180 up on the scoreboard. But they are a side that, you know, they've been phenomenal in the T20 setup, but, you know, I'm sure they're looking to be a bit more consistent in 50 over cricket.
Short ball well dealt with by Mary Waldron, worked away from her chest, behind square on the leg side, and she will get back for 2. That was very well played.
Really well worked there by Mary. I thought she was going to be beaten for height there, but managed to get up on top of it and work it down. Again, probably unlucky that it didn't run away for 4.
Mary's someone you know very well. Talk to us about how fearless she is, a dual international. She thrives under these sort of big situations.
She's born for international sport. Also an ex-football player, could have gone on and done that to great lengths, but she chose cricket, which was great for Cricket Ireland. There's probably no one in the game, in the Irish game anyway, that works harder than Mary. She goes off to Australia for the winter, does a bit of umpiring, I hear, and but she works so hard, and she's built for these moments.
Opening the batting in a new role for Ireland in this new era for the women's game. The retirement of 4 players back in November, including the woman sitting to my right, Clara Shillington. And Mary Waldron is going to have her first boundary of the day with the best shot of this Irish innings so far. Worked very pleasingly off her legs all the way along the ground for a boundary 4.
Yeah, super shot there by Mary. If we just look at it, probably line straight, a little bit too straight. Works it off leg stump, nice and still, and over the ropes for 4. Great shot by Mary.
She started out in the Irish team. She was really a wicket keeper only, sometimes batting as low down as 10 or maybe even 11 in the order. She's added batting to her game in a big way.
Yeah, no, she's done incredibly well. As I said, she works very hard on her batting as much as her keeping. I think she always believed that she should have been further up the order, so I'm delighted to see she's getting a chance.
We saw her yesterday against the spinners use a bit of innovation, as you said, some paddle sweeps, some reverse sweeps, some lap sweeps.
Mary's probably one of those players that's actually more comfortable against the spin. So I think she was struggling slightly with the quicks on the first day, and she's got better and better as she's gone along. But yeah, you know, she's also a hockey player and just a good athlete, so works well in innovation. Down
the track this time, hit into the offside, can't beat the inner ring. 6 runs from that third over. Ireland women 13 for none. Chasing down this huge total of West Indies women, 188 for 1. It's the third of 3 T20 internationals in the Hanley Energy T20I series between Ireland women and West Indies women. West Indies, they're going to go straight on a flight tomorrow over to England for 3 T20Is and 3 ODIs. How do you think they'll go against that dominant English women's side?
Yeah, as I said before, they're the type of side that can turn up and beat anyone in the world on their day. They've match winners in every facet of the game. You don't need to look any further than Hayley Matthews today, scoring 100 off 50 odd balls or something. So, you know, and they've bowlers to back it up, and as you say, they've 3 wicket keepers. So as long as they can put those performances together, I'm sure they'll push England to the wire.
Hit down the ground by Gabby Lewis. That's her best shot of the day so far. She clears the mid-on fielder, Natasha McLean. 1 bounce, it skids off the surface and runs away for 4. Good power from Gabby Lewis.
That's a super shot by Gabby. That's what she's known for. If we just see the replay here, it's in her slot and she's gone over mid-on straight away. 2 bounces over the roundie. Oh, over the boundary.
Over the boundary indeed. Gabby Lewis taking some inspiration from Hayley Matthews. Taking the aerial route. Good clear call from Lewis to that dangerous backward point region. Why is it that we so often see a mix-up between the running between the wickets
I was just
when it
say
goes to backward point?
There's been a little bit of inconsistent calling and running over the last sort of couple of days. I think it's built in a little bit of, you know, not backing your partner. So hopefully they can get through that.
Full toss hit into the sky. Could be a chance at mid-wicket, and it's taken. Lewis has got to go. She's going to be very disappointed with that. It was a low dipping full toss. I think it's actually Hayley Matthews who might have clung on to the catch. It is. And Lewis, after showing promise for the second time in 2 days, she's got to go for 8.
That's a real shame for Gabby there. We just see the replay. It's probably at waist height. Yeah, just below the waist. I think she dipped down. Maybe unlucky. One of those ones that's on the line, but a good catch there and unlucky for Gabby.
Yeah, it looked at first that it was going to be over waist height and signalled no ball, so Lewis looked to exploit the fact there was no one in the deep on the leg side. She falls for 8 off 9 balls, and it's going to be a long way home for Ireland now, with one of their premier batsmen falling inside the power play. Going to bring Kim Garth to the wicket. She's not going to be on strike because the batter's crossed. Stacey Ann King, she really got away with that one. It's not how she'd wanted to get the wicket, but it goes to her anyway. Yeah,
she'll be delighted to take a wicket. She won't care what happened there. It's unfortunate for Gabby. You'd back her 9 times out of 10 to dispatch that over the ropes. I think it just got on her maybe a little bit quicker than she thought and skewed it up to mid-wicket.
Worked off her legs by Mary Waldron. Going to be no run there. How do you approach a chase like this? Do you look to get past 100 and then chase it down, or what's the mindset, Claire?
I think they're probably not looking at figures as such of reaching certain targets. So I would hope that they just go out and bat with intent, and there's a certain amount of both these sides looking to. It's well played by Mary out to cover there. They'll both be looking to get something out of this. Certainly, if we've talked about Mary Waldron in a new role, she'll be looking to bat time and bat aggressively and see what she can get. It's obviously a huge total.
And Kim Garth, the Irish captain, in place of Laura Delaney, taking the captaincy reign. She's in career best form with the bat. Half an appeal too high, surely, coming off the back thigh of Kim Garth. Wait for the signal. Will be signalled leg byes to end the 4th over. Ireland women, they're 19 for 1. Garth made 40 odd not out in the opening game and a maiden T20 I-50 yesterday.
Yeah, she batted superbly well in both games yesterday. I thought she was exceptional. As we talked about with Mary, she tried new things. She was innovative, and she did a really good job. She just needed someone to come in and hang tight with her and make a big partnership, and unfortunately that didn't happen. But I know she's been working hard in her game to T20 doesn't naturally come to her. She's more of a 50 over player, and she's done really well at playing more aggressively.
She made 51 off 48 deliveries yesterday, and she brought her 50 up in the final over to raise a huge cheer from the packed crowd on the Pembroke wall on her home ground. She's going to have to face up to Shamelia Connell, who's bowling at good pace, and Garth's going to get away off the mark with a pleasing cut shot that beats the dive a backward point, and she's going to open her account with a boundary 4.
That's a super shot by Kim there, just rocked back and put it through a busy enough point and gully area. We see it here, banged it in short, nice and still, and just sliced it through.
Meat and drink for Kim Garth in the form she's been in with the bat. Also a new role for her, certainly up the order. She spent a lot of her career at 5 or 6 for Ireland, thriving up at number 3 now. Loud call of no. Probably the right decision, Claire.
These two are not used to batting together so much, and we've seen a couple of calls yesterday that left our hearts in our mouths. But hopefully they'll figure it out. They've plenty of time to get there before the important games towards the back end of the summer.
Talk to us about Shamelia Connell. She's a beautiful action. She comes in, a nice gather, hits the deck hard.
Yeah, she's a superb bowler. She's done very well coming back in, and she's tall and strong and bangs it in, and the Irish girls were probably just beaten for pace in the first game, but like the West Indies, they've got accustomed to our conditions, and our girls are playing her much better now.
Tell us a bit more about Kim Garth and this new role she has. Do you think she'll thrive, I suppose, in the vice captaincy permanently? Unfortunately, having to captain in the absence of Laura Delaney, who suffered that bad injury.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Dels to pick that up, but I think Kim is really relishing it, and I know she's taken it on board, and I know she's really wanting to bat up the order.
Oh, that's a beauty from Connell. We were just talking about how she comes in and hits the deck. Rose a bit off a length. A real beauty, one of the best deliveries of the entire day so far. Yeah,
super carry through there, and I think Kim just glanced at it, but as I was saying there, I think she's really relishing this higher position up the batting order and far more aggressive than she has been in previous years.
Pull shot from Garth. She's up to the task of the shorter delivery, pulled into the deep. And in fact, it's going to be her father who does the fielding, Johnny Garth, the ex-Ireland international himself. That's going to end the 5th over. Ireland 27 for 1. Five overs gone. Time for a change in the commentary position. Mark Jones with Janice Walsh.
Thank you, Andrew. Stacey Ann King to continue. Well, Janice, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are is that the West Indies got a phenomenal score. It was phenomenal batting by Hayley Matthews and Shadeen Nation. They put on a record partnership score.
Yeah, it was great batting to watch, in fairness. Some very clean hitting.
And it was tough work for our bowlers and for our fielders. And so, as a consequence, some mistakes were made. But the West Indies certainly came out and showed us how to do it in cloudy conditions with a bit of rain in the air. It was super to watch.
Yeah, it's amazing what a little bit of pressure can do. And the Irish batters on a little bit of pressure here as well. Good start to the over from Stacey Ann King.
Yeah, they are. I was watching the two bowlers warm up actually, and they spent a long time stretching and warming up and sprinting and stretching and sprinting and warming up because it's quite chilly here, and I think as with yesterday they might bowl straight through.
Yeah, they don't want to risk an injury at this stage of the tour. They have to go off across England now and play a series of one-day internationals over there as well. So the last thing they would want is an injury at this stage of the game for them, especially with such a score on the board. I'd say you're probably right. I'd say both bowlers have bowled their 4 all the way through, or certainly wouldn't be looking to come back anyway.
Yeah, Stacey Ann King as well yesterday was super. She bowled 2 for 15 off 4.
Stifled the field this time, probably a little bit high and potentially pitching outside leg there as well, Janice.
Yeah, left arm over, going right across the right hand batsman. And yes, I think it was too high.
Mary looks to be a little bit stuck at the moment. Just the 8 runs coming from the 19 deliveries. Just struggling to get it away. And that brings it end to the 6th over. Ireland have moved down to 27 for 1.
Yeah, it is. It's quality bowling. Our bats aren't. They're not used to facing this consistent bowling consistently. From one end, they've got speed coming down from a great height. We wouldn't be used to facing. The girls wouldn't be used to facing those fast deliveries. Also, from the other end, you've got left arm over, which is tricky. And the dot balls, as a consequence, are mounting up.
Yeah, it looks like a change of bowling now. Not quite sure who it is at the moment. There seems to be a bit of gesticulation going on. I think it could be Hayley Matthews coming on fresh from her century. Obviously had a bit of a sit down and now is raring to go with the ball. Yeah, it is Matthews.
From the Sydney Parade end, Hayley Matthews.
In the second power play now.
She's no slouch with the ball either. Marker economy rate of 5.85, a best bowling of 4 for 10.
Yep, certainly an all-round talent as Delaney was on about in the first innings. Still only 21 years old, so plenty of life in the tank yet. There's 3 out on the leg side and 1 on the off side for Matthews. Probably going to look bowled straight here with her off breaks.
Yeah, straight little tricky off breaks to make Kim Garth work for her runs. Kim likes the ball coming on. She likes to take on the bowler. So she's going to have to work hard here for her runs.
Down on one leg with the sweep. Has she found the gap in the leg side field? No, a diving stop in the end. And they scamper through for 2.
That's very well fielded by Connell on the boundary, on the mid-wicket boundary. Kim seemed to time that shot absolutely beautifully. The sound the ball made coming off the bat was delicious.
Just see it here on the replay. Bowled straight and very well fielded in the deep.
Nice to see the fielders backing each other up. Connell was lying on the ground and the other fielder came in to get the ball in quickly back into the bowler.
Yeah, she's gone a bit fuller this time. Kim just rock backs onto the back foot and plays it easily into the leg side for a single. Brings Mary on the strike. You'd like to see Mary have a go now with half of this over gone. She's only on 8 off 20 balls, so kind of needs to get on with it.
Yeah, I think she's feeling the pressure as well with only scoring 8 off 20 balls. Mary likes to keep the scoreboard ticking over. She likes to run her singles quickly.
She showed good intent there, looking to come down the wicket, but it was spotted by Matthews and it was fired in her leg stump and could only play it back to the bowler for a dot.
I think it was really to mid-on. I think if they both committed to the run, I think they would have made it. But maybe they're just better being safe than sorry.
Slower through the air this time. Mary plays it into the leg side, looking for 2, but no, well fielded in the end. Oh, and Kim nearly got cleaned up there.
It was one of the features of the game yesterday was the way these two ran well together when they were batting. They do generally have a good understanding of each other's games. They play here in Pembroke together. And they do like to keep the scoreboard ticking over. Mary's playing well to leg. She's moving the ball very nicely to the leg side.
Kim was looking to go over the top with that one, but had to check the shot in the end. Very well bowled. Great start to Matthews' spell. Just the 4 runs coming from that over.
Yeah, it was a super start by Matthews. She's a tricky little bowler to get away those little off breaks, and she certainly had Kim fooled there with the flight of the ball, and it was fuller length, right up to her toes.
It looks like it's going to be a double change, so the opening bowlers are not going to bowl all the way through like they did yesterday. This is a Faye Fletcher coming into the attack. She bowled very well yesterday, Janice.
Oh yeah, she did. She's been the pick of the bowlers for the last 2 matches, 4 for 14 and 2 for 20. So she's another leg break bowler, and she's bowling extremely well.
Yeah, she's the leading wicket taker in the series so far.
I think they've probably identified that our bats, the Irish bats, don't particularly like the ball when it's spinning. That we prefer the ball coming on.
Yeah, with a score on the board like they have, it's you take the pace off the ball and it's more difficult to put away. So long off and long on back, and they're bringing in the extra cover, a slip in place. So quite an attacking field here.
Yeah, the goal for the Irish team here has to be to do better than yesterday. We scored 112 yesterday. On Sunday we got 75 odd. So the goal must be to get more, to push the score on and score more.
Yeah, down on one knee there for Waldron on bottom edge down to the short fine leg, just rushed through for the single.
I think Affy just had a little loosener there because normally she doesn't bowl that far down leg side.
Yeah, just pushed that one down to leg. She did bowl, but one of us went around our legs yesterday, if you recall. That's better, much straighter. Kim Garth onto the back foot and can only play it back to the bowler.
You can also see that there's a single at mid-on and mid-off, so she probably is going to try and work the ball into that area.
Well fielded in the covers. Kim trying to get it through, as you say, down to the mid-off area, but very well cut across.
Yeah, it is one of the aspects of the West Indies team. The West Indies team is that their fielding is excellent.
The top edge this time, and just eludes the Stefani Taylor at first slip, diving behind herself to try and affect the catch there, but unfortunately just out of her reach for her sake.
Yeah, Kim Garth, I think, getting a little bit frustrated there. Here it is. She sort of got a top edge. She's lucky she wasn't out.
Goes right back on her stumps this time and across to the offside to play that into the leg side just for a single. Really, the Irish batters are really struggling to get the ball away at the moment.
No, but they are being offered 6 singles. If they can work the ball into the mid-on, mid-off area, they're being offered 6 singles and over.
They do look a little bit wary of Fletcher, though. As I say, she is the leading wicket taker in the series so far with 6. And it's at the end of her first over, the West Indies' 8th over. Just 3 runs coming from that. The score moves on to 34 for 1. What do you think here, Janice? Are the Irish just going to look to build a bit of a partnership here and then maybe accelerate through the middle overs?
Yes, I think so, and I think our players have to, as I've said before, they need to spend time in the middle, particularly these two. This is the type of experience that these players have been craving. We need to play against these top sides. The West Indies ranked 4 in the world, we're ranked 10th. We need to play these sides regularly, and that will give us a chance to improve our game.
And it is Hayley Matthews to continue. Mary's just sweeping that one out to the deep square boundary for a single. With the Zimbabwe series coming up now, Janice, can you see many changes in the Irish side?
No, I can't. I think they're probably going to stick with this squad. I think they probably will give Naomi Matthews a crack. She's a power hitter.
A lot quicker and fuller this time from Matthews, and very well played. Just guided that one down to short fine leg from Kim Garth.
Also, the other player in the squad who hasn't had a chance to play in this series is Leah Paul, who is a very good left-handed bat. She's a stroke player, likes to play the ball all around the wicket. Nice player to watch.
And just down the wicket this time from Mary. She just plays that one into deep square for a single. The Irish are certainly starting to rotate it a little bit better in this over.
Yeah, and again, if you're looking at the quality of the bowling, that is all that we can expect them to do at the moment, and at least they're not getting bogged down, which is good. Wait for the bad ball, one will come.
Yeah, they are showing good intent. Kim again down the wicket, a little bit unlucky to find the kind of wide mid-wicket fielders just at the corner of the box there.
You can see Kim Garth doesn't like any form of a dot ball. You can see by her reaction, she doesn't like it.
To get herself into a very good position again there to play that. Just play to mid-off for the single.
Yeah, she's a quality player. Kim Garth played in Sydney, plays in Australia in the winter. Got first ODI 50 yesterday, super knock.
Again, Mary on the sweep into deep square leg, and that brings an end to the 9th over. 5 runs coming from that. Ireland have moved on to 39 for 1.
I think the goal for these two, if they're having a little chat, should be to try and push the score on, try and score, set targets each over, maybe try and get a little bit more than 5 and over, hoping to get maybe 110, 120 by the end of the 20 overs.
Yeah, the state of the game is that Ireland need 150 runs from the remaining 11 overs at a rate of just north of 13.5 per over. So if they've any chance to win the game, they really need to push it on. But more realistically, I think it's a case of just bat as long as they can, bat as deep as they can, and hopefully build a nice partnership here. And it is a Freya Fletcher to continue with her leg breaks, and again the Irish are just struggling to get her away.
Yeah, you can see Mary gets into line very nicely. She steps back and across early and gets into line. She's always looking to work the ball to the leg side. That's where the single is.
A little bit more air this time. Potentially 2 there if they ran hard. But no, they just settled for the 1. A little bit more air this time for Fletcher, and Mary just guides it down to long on for 1.
Yeah, it is a feature of our game as well, of the Irish game, that I've noticed is that they don't really run the first single quickly. Maybe that's just experience.
Yeah, maybe so. Again, just pushed down to long off this time from Kim. The partnership is certainly building. Oh, reverse sweep this time from Mary Waldron through the point area. Will it go all the way? Yeah, it's been signalled for. It's gone all the way. Very nice shot from Mary Waldron. I hope we get to see it on the replay.
Yeah, a beautiful reverse sweep by Mary Waldron. Again, she stepped down the crease, got into position early and timed it beautifully. The fielder just knocked it into the rope. But it was a beautiful shot. Let's see what Fletcher does in response.
Yeah, very nicely played. For the first time, Fletcher under a little bit of pressure in this over. Or in her spell here. 7 off this over so far. This time a regulation sweep. They might push for 2 here. Is in the gap. Yeah, they come back from 2. A good throw. It could be tight. Oh, direct hit would have had her out, but luckily enough for Waldron, it didn't hit, and the keeper wasn't able to pick it up cleanly and knock the bails off either.
Yeah, it's interesting the runs where they do try and take the 2. That was a very lucky a direct hit, and Mary would have been on her way back to the changing room.
But still, nice to see good intent now. Fletcher with the final ball of the 10th over.
Yeah, always good to put the fielders under pressure.
A lot flatter. That looked like an off break this time from Fletcher. Played into the leg side, and that brings an end to the 10th over, with Ireland moving on to 48 for 1. And it looks like there's going to be a change of bowling, and with that brings a change in the commentary box. This time, for the next 5 overs, you got Miriam Greenley, and joining Miriam is the wonderful Andrew Leonard.
Thank you, Mark. And yeah, the change in bowling is going to be Karishma Ramharak into the attack with her off breaks and her leg breaks. It's been a really disciplined effort from this West Indian attack so far, Miriam.
It has, Lenny, but I just have to say I'm very impressed with Mary Waldron's batting today. She's not losing her head going down the track. She's just happy to take her singles, get her strike rate up, and when a bad ball comes, she'll dismiss it. She's played some beautiful shots. Ramrak bowled 1 for 22. Did a day off her 4 overs, so she's a very tight bowler as well.
Yeah, just ringing the changes in the field as well for Kim Garth, asking her captain to come up to mid-wicket and bringing the fielder across from third man into fine leg, so more protection on the leg side for Ramharak. Sweep from Garth. There's 2 fielders out there, so just going to be a single.
In fairness, they've seen enough of Kim Garth over the last couple of days, haven't they, Lenny? So be wise for them to do their homework. She's in terrific nick at the moment, and she does tend to favour the leg side.
Yeah, Garth 46 in the first match before making her first T20 international career half-century. 51 not out yesterday. So certainly a batter in form for Ireland. Another sweep shot from Waldron. Going to be another single. It's a difficult position for the Irish batters. Probably the game is gone, needing a 140 to win at 14 and over. Plenty of time for the batters to get some practice in the middle.
I think that's right. I think what they should, what they probably are doing with the experience that these two have out here is just play it in little sessions, set themselves targets for the next 5 overs and maybe the next 2 overs or 3 overs, and one of them at some stage is going to have to hit out. But targets every couple of overs.
Down the track from Garth. That's powerfully struck towards long on. Going to be another single. Plenty of singles. A word for this West Indian bowling attack, though. Such variety, such skill, such guile.
Yeah, they're fantastic, really. They have their quick bowlers are genuinely quick and tall, and their spin bowlers between the off spinner and the leg spinner, and they're very, very accurate. They don't give you an awful lot of room. You have to put all the pace on the ball.
Yeah, we see a leg break this time from Ramharak, and Waldron picked it up quickly. Looks for the switch hit. She's going to come back for 2. Lovely batting from Waldron. She's growing in confidence at the top of the order.
She is, and as we were saying, that she was batting 8 in the World Cup last time around, and we knew she could bat higher. She opens for her Super 3 team. But you could see yesterday the intent she had as well, and if we can get somebody to stay in here with Kim, or these have a good partnership, we could get well over the 120 mark.
An off break this time from Ramharak. Hit into the leg side. Waldron continues. Runs off every ball in that over. 7 runs coming from it. Ireland, they're 55 for 1, going exactly 5 and over after 11.
They'd be very pleased with that, wouldn't they? As I say, they probably would have set themselves a few targets, and as Janice said earlier on, probably trying to beat the score they did better than the score they got yesterday. But I'd like to see these two staying in here now for next 2 or 3 or 4 overs, and maybe one make a decision to hit out, maybe even run a little quicker between the runs, and maybe to make 2s into 3s, whatever. But they're going well so far.
Certainly an upward curve for the Irish batters in this series. 75 all out in the opening T20I at YMCA around the corner in Claremont Road, and in the second T20I yesterday making 112. So can they get up to that 120, 130, 140 mark perhaps?
Well, as you say, Lenny, you've seen an improvement every day with the top 4 or 5 batsmen, and that's what happens when you play against this opposition. Even in 48 hours we can see the difference in the top bats are making.
Another sweep shot from Waldron. There's one fielder out in the deep, but there could be a chance to get back for 2. Waldron's quick between the wickets. She puts her head down and scampers through. Good running from Waldron and good use of her favoured sweep.
We see Affy's decided to come over the wicket to her that time around. She's a fantastic bowler, this girl, isn't she? Six wickets in the competition so far, and very hard to get away. That was a loosener for her now.
Yeah, lovely leg breaks from Affy Fletcher. Looks for another sweep. It's well outside the off stump. Half an appeal, more in hope than anything from the ladies from the Caribbean.
It's probably the length that she was appealing, was it? More so than the line.
Yeah, certainly going on to miss the off stump. An easy decision for Azam Ali Beg. It's had a very good day actually, Azam Ali Beg, with Paul Reynolds. 2 standing umpires today, doing a good job.
He had to duck a couple of times, Lenny, didn't he?
Yeah, he wore a few in the leg, Azam. It's another sweep from Mary Waldron. That one is going to nearly dissect the field, but she's going to pick out Stacey Ann King in the deep. Thought that was 4 for just a moment.
It did, and again the West Indian fielders are fantastic, aren't they? They cover the ground very quickly, and they all have huge arms. No 2 on those arms from the boundary.
And really well captained and marshalled by their captain Stefanie Taylor. I don't think you can underestimate the role that she plays in leading this side.
She's terribly experienced and leads by example with her batting and her bowling.
Flatter this time. Good variation again from Affy Fletcher. Constantly mixing it up, not letting the batters settle.
And it comes at some pace, that little short ball, although that's very short. She's bowling it nippy enough that we can't get under it to pull it.
Big appeal. Given not out. We're going to see if we can bring you a replay of that. Was there maybe 2 noises?
Yeah, I think Kim's showing her the bat. In typical Kim Garth fashion. Here's the replay. It's on.
Maybe just sliding
maybe
down leg.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, the 2 noises could have been front pad, back pad actually. A little bit of bravado from the Irish skipper, waving her bat back at the bowler, but all in good heart.
And that's Kim moved her feet there beautifully. It was a lovely ball, lovely shot. Just unfortunately didn't get it to the left or right of the. Oh God.
Of the bowler Affy Fletcher,
Bowler,
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Let's take a look at the match summary, because if you're just joining us for the first time today, perhaps finishing your work day and tuning in here, 6:45 local time in Ireland, West Indies women earlier today were simply sensational. The rain break did not hold them up. We had to go off the field after 11 overs for a little while. Hayley Matthews made history, her first T20 International century, and she made history with Shadeen Nation because it was a record partnership for the West Indies that drove them up to their second highest total ever of 188 for 1.
I think we were doing quite well till the rain break came at the wrong time for us, Lenny.
The Centurion Hayley Matthews going to continue with the ball now. In fact, it's not. It's Karishma Ramarak. I'm getting sold a dummy by the baseball caps. A different
long hair.
Spin from the far end, from the St. John's Road end. Mary Waldron moves to 31 not out. This partnership building nicely, but Ireland running out of time. A leg break this time. Beats the dancing feet of Kim Garth, who came down the track. And Knight can't affect the stumping.
I think she should have had her there, Lenny. I think she just, if we see the replay, She definitely just dropped it out of the gloves. That was her one chance.
Sweep shot back live with you. Better from Kim Garth. Gus Logie was telling us yesterday, the West Indies women's assistant coach, about how Karishma Ramarak loves to vary it up, mix up her off breaks and her leg breaks. We saw the leg break there nearly deceive Kim Garth.
Isn't it great to have somebody who can bowl leg break and off break?
We see it more and more in the modern game. Joe Root, of course, doing it for England. Seen Paul Sterling do it occasionally for Ireland as well. 6-wicket haul against Afghanistan, bowling some leg breaks, but he's
really have to just keep your eye on the hand, don't you?
Yeah, certainly good skill on show from the bowlers. It's an off break this time. Waldron looks for the sweep. It comes off the under edge, nearly deflects onto the stumps.
I think just to be careful, Emery, she has to play the length of the ball as well. Not always sweeping. Don't premeditate. She's played very well for her 31 runs. It's been a good battle now between herself and Ramarak.
Off break again, hit into the deep. No real power from Waldron, not out of the middle of the bat. And what West Indies have done so well is they've set their defensive fielders incredibly cleverly and restricting all of Ireland's boundary options.
I think one of the main differences we see here from Mary, she's quite a big hitter, is the difference of the Hayley Matthew when she strikes the ball and maybe our girls when they strike the ball. They're clearing the ropes. We're perhaps just hitting it for twos or for ones. It's something that we can improve on.
Down the track from Garth, that shows the power that Miriam Greeley wanted to see. And a little fumble in the field from Natasha McLean, but just a single to the total. And that's really been the difference between the two sides. The power on show from the West Indies women's batters. They've cleared the ropes with ease at times.
They have, and they've done it against our spinners as well. I mean, Celeste Rack has had a very good tournament, and today they just obviously focused in on her to have a go at her, and the same with Kerrison. And she just moved her feet beautifully to the pitch of the ball, so don't allow it turn, and play right to the line of the ball, free the arms up, and hit it back over the bowler's head for, I think, a few sixes. We tend to be doing a lot of our pulling to leg side, and she played inside out shots beautifully as well, which is the field is set here with a leg spin bowler coming on to play inside out. But it's something, again, that's a step up for us.
Garth down the track, nicely hit into the leg side. It's wide of the fielder, deep mid-wicket, but no time for two. Again, the West Indian fielders getting their angles right. Stacey Ann King out there.
That's exactly, you just hit the nail on the head. They are getting their angles right, aren't they? And I'd say they're using their own, they're watching the bats themselves, deciding on where they're going to stand, rather than being told by the captain. Certainly no twos to those three fielders out here on the leg side.
Looks for the reverse sweep, beats the infield. That's a beautiful shot for Mary Waldron, and it's going to bring up her career best in T20 International cricket, moving past her previous figure of 33. Probably the shot of the day from the Irish perspective.
Right in the middle of the bat. Here's the replay. Freed her arms up. Fantastic reverse sweep for 4 runs. Trying to get Affy to perhaps move her field.
And that's the 50 partnership for these two. Pleasing stuff from the Irish ladies, and certainly Waldron in particular thriving in this new role as opener for Ireland.
Getting better and better with every innings. From Sunday in YMCA to yesterday when she's 28 off 22 balls, and now 37 off 44 balls.
Shorter this time. Garth looks for the sweep down the leg side, going to be signalled wide. And even good exposure for Ireland to wrist spin, because the first time they've kept Affy Fletcher wicketless so far in the series.
Yeah, again, they've done their homework probably and talked about it in the evening time as well when they're together as a team.
Fuller, Garth hits down the ground for a single. Misfielded by Fletcher off her own bowling. The game is certainly gone here for Ireland, but as we said, got to set targets. What will Ireland be looking to get up towards here?
I'd say, well, it's another 50 at least anyway. 14, 30, 40. I'd say 120 we're trying to set themselves. I'd say they'll go to their 15 overs, Lenny, and then they'll have a look what they are, and then they'll know what they have to get out of the last 5 overs. 30 balls.
The highest partnership of the series so far for Ireland women. Moving past the 50 point in this over. So plenty of positives for the Irish captain who's on strike, Kim Garth. Down the track again, driven powerfully, but even though it's a good shot again, the West Indies fielders getting their positions right. The throw comes in from Natasha McLean. Ireland 72 for 1 after 14 overs.
They're very impressive, the West Indies. Those fielders on the boundaries. You certainly aren't going to get any twos from them. Mary playing fantastically well today. Coming on to bowl. We're continuing from that end. Ramarak continuing from the far end. Kim 22 runs off her 30 balls. No idea.
That's a lovely shot from Kim Garth, but again she's picked out the fielder in the deep square leg boundary. So no matter what Ireland seem to do, they just can't find the rope.
I think that's one of the differences between the two teams as well. If we're being critical, we are finding their fielders an awful lot more. A sweep shot was played there, but they hadn't got a fine leg in. A paddle probably would have got them 2 runs.
Fuller this time. Waldron comes down the track, uses her feet. And even when they get the ball into the deep, there isn't enough time to come back for 2 because of the quality of the West Indies fielding.
Yeah, the quality. They get to the ball quick, they release the ball very quick, and it's very accurate in over the stumps.
Down the track from Garth, hit into the air, but there's a fielder down at long on, and she's going to pull up short of the catch. We heard groans from the West Indies bench to the side. Surely that was a chance.
Oh, I think it was a chance, yeah. Maybe she just lost it. Or maybe she doesn't want to get her trousers dirty, but there's definitely a catch there.
I think Natasha McLean, that is, down at long on, and a little bit of banter flying around on the West Indies bench on the sideline, a few jitters.
I think that could be a fine. It was good to see Kim going over the top.
Into the air, Waldron looking for that reverse switch hit again. Beats a misfield, very unlike this West Indies side. Shemaine Campbell there at point. Gets through for a single.
Mary does like that shot, the reverse sweep, but she's very, very good at it. Good to see her playing. She must practice it an awful lot. Doesn't really miss hit it very often. And is reaping the reward today against the spinners.
More good stuff from Garth. She'll take on mid-off even though they're up in the circle. Another single for her. Singles off every ball in this over so far, Miriam.
Yeah, it's going very nicely. The ball wasn't quite there. You could see him was probably trying to hit it over mid-off because they brought her in, but the ball wasn't quite there for her to get it over mid-off. But it was good soft hands and ran the single.
Big full toss to end the 15th over, and the square leg umpire indicates it was dipping, so that's going to be 15 overs gone. Ireland women, they're 78 for 1. $15 overs gone here at Sydney Parade, and a change in the commentary box to join me, Andrew Leonard, for the final 5 overs of this Hanley Energy T20 International Series. I've got the Leinster Lightning manager, Mark Jones.
Hello again, Andrew. Decent partnership building here from the 2 Irish women.
I think for the first time in the series, we're going to see Stefanie Taylor bowl some off breaks, deciding she didn't get to have a bat today, so she'll have a bowl.
Skipper bringing herself on, sure, why not? Why wouldn't you? Trying to give everyone a go by the looks of things. Plenty of runs to play with on the board.
Nice action with her off breaks. Very reminiscent of me to a great West Indian, Carl Hooper.
Big Carl, yes, fantastic player. One of my all-time heroes with the bat. Very elegant player. Loved the way he played the ball through the covers. Just caressed it and it seemed to zing off as that big V500 for 4.
Yeah, it's that little hop, skip and a jump just into her bound that Makes me remember the great Guyanese all-rounder Carl Hooper. Stefani Taylor bowling her off breaks from the Wilfield Road end.
Do you reckon she modelled it on the great man?
Perhaps Waldron using her feet down towards long on. That's Natasha McLean doing the fielding. The game is gone here for Ireland. West Indies look certain to run out 3-0 winners, but plenty of good experience and a really good partnership from an Irish perspective.
Yeah, very much so, and it's important to be able to take something from the game. Obviously, the game, as you say, the game has got 108 runs needed in just over 4 overs, so very unlikely that Ireland are going to do anything in this at this stage of the game. But a very nice partnership building here between Garth and Waldron. You know, they've settled in nicely. Mary's played the reverse sweep very well. Kim has kind of struggled in the last few overs to get the ball away a little bit.
Good tight stuff from Stefani Taylor, and we will finally see them get back for 2. A direct hit would have been close, but Waldron's quick between the wickets, so 2 runs to end the 16th over. Ireland women 83 for 1. So we'll look at the bowling figures, Mark. Such a varied, strong attack from this West Indies side.
Yeah, we were saying at the start of this innings that they might bowl through, and it's only a Faith Fletcher who has bowled her 4 overs so far, and everyone else has bowled 2 or 3 overs, and it looks like that's set to continue with Ramarak coming on again. Yeah,
Ramarak's going to finish out her 4th over from the St. John's Road end. Ireland just 4 overs remain. Can they get past their highest total in the series? 112 they made yesterday, with Kim Garth making her maiden T20I 50.
Well, they're giving themselves a chance here, Lenny, which is good to see.
Big full toss again, hit into the deep, but again picks out the fielder, so no time to get back for 2 despite the slight fumble. A powerful throw in with the direct hit. Just as well they didn't come back for 2. That's Brittany Cooper out there at Cow Corner.
Yeah, it might have been tight. I'd say Kim was disappointed not to face that one. It might have broken the shackles that she's been under a little bit. Nice big juicy full toss, and unfortunately for Mary, she's only able to find the fielder down at Cow Corner.
Yeah, you can see the reason that wasn't signalled no ball. Waldron used her feet to come down the track, and you can see Azam Ali Beg at square leg indicating it was going to dip beneath the waist of her standing position where she starts her normal batting stance. That's the law. So no ball signalled again. Garth looks for the reverse sweep, beats the fielder, but just going to be time for 1 run. In fact, they'll turn and come back for 2. Oh, they won't. She came halfway down, perhaps deciding against it. Bit of a yes-no situation there, Lenny. Could have been an awful mix-up, but no, good. They sorted themselves out very quickly, and it's Waldron on strike now. Ramarak going to come around the wicket now to Mary Waldron. Mary Waldron changing her guard because of the change of action. It's been a dominant West Indies performance throughout this series. They're going to deservedly run out 3-0 winners.
Yeah, they never really gave Ireland a sniff at any of the 3 games so far, Lenny, have they?
Swept by Waldron, and that's going to be at least a couple. 2 runs to the total. Waldron will come back. Garth gets back to throw, and that's a career best for Mary Waldron in all international cricket, moving past her ODI career best. So certainly starting to thrive as she moves up to the top of the order for the first time.
Yeah, no, she's done very well. She was very slow at the start. She kind of struggled to get it away a bit, but career best score 46 now in T20 cricket is very well played from Mary Waldron, and you'd like to think she'll get a round in later on.
Waldron moves to within 4 runs of a maiden 50 in international cricket. Looks for that switch hit. A bit of an appeal. Waldron comes down a few steps. No run there. Ramarak shown a lot of variation in her bowling.
Yeah, I think she's trying all the tricks in the trade to try and affect the wicket. Mary playing with the reverse sweep there, and looked like she had no idea where the ball went to, so she was lucky not to be run out in the end.
Sweep again from Waldron. Not time though, just going to be a single. It's really her go-to shot against the spinners.
It seems to be, yeah. As I said, she really struggled at the start when she was trying to play that a little bit straighter. But since she's employed both the reverse and the regular sweep, she's found the boundary a few times and also got herself off strike a number of times as well.
Ramarak just pulls out of her delivery. Her final ball of her spell. Another full toss she's going to finish with. Azam Ali Beg signals that it's not going to be a no ball, but it will be a boundary for her. Garth makes good connection to get her innings starting to move along.
Yeah, very nice sound off the bat. Nice juicy full toss to end the 17th over. We just see it here again in the replay. Moves down the wicket. About mid-rift height and was able to pongo that one out to the deep square leg boundary.
Yeah, nice shot from Kim Garth. Move this Irish innings up towards the 100 mark into the 90s. 92 for 1 after 17 overs. Never really in the contest in terms of defeating the West Indies women today. But a pleasing performance from Aaron Hamilton's side. Garth continues to excel with the bat in this series. And Waldron coming into her own in her new role as opener.
Yeah, done very, very well here, Lenny. Bit of a strange game, really, with 37 overs bowled out of the 40 and only 2 wickets being taken. I wouldn't say that's happened regularly in any form of T20 cricket, whether it be men's or ladies or youth.
It'll be Stefani Taylor to continue bowling her off breaks as West Indies happy to close out this match with spin.
Yeah, we're going to have a change of bowling from the St John's Road end because Ramarak has finished off her 4 overs, but Taylor continuing here. It'll be interesting to see if she goes back to one of the openers. Very slow through the air this time.
Yeah, nicely swept again by Mary Waldron. She'll be so keen to get towards a 50 for the first time.
I'd say her eyes lit up with that one, but she didn't make a great connection. Maybe just tried to hit a little bit too hard and ended up just bottom edging it down to the fielder down at deep.
Backward square leg. Fielder does the tidying up. Garth hits into the leg side, starting to show some power. Just going to be a single. The West Indies strategically and tactically have got everything right, haven't they, throughout this series?
Yeah, it looks like from their batting perspective, in each of the 3 games, they've put themselves into a position where they can actually kick on, whether it be that partnership from today or yesterday, or even on Sunday where they got themselves to what we thought was a slow enough start, but they had enough in the tank to be able to power up to 130, which was a comfortable winning score on the day. And with the ball, they seem to be bowling to the plans a lot better than the Irish ladies have been able to do. They bowl much fuller than we have, and they bowl to their plans.
Down the track, hit powerfully by Kim Garth. It's going to dissect the 2 fielders in the deep for a boundary 4. More aggression from Garth. Good form from her. That's a lovely shot.
Yeah, nicely played. Let's bring it on the replay here. Kim showing great intent straight down the ground. 4 runs straight back over the bowler's head. Lovely shot.
112 Ireland made yesterday. Miriam Greeley, the former Irish women's captain, talked about how that might be the target to try and get past realistically for Ireland. Showing improvement with the bat in each match. Garth looks for the slog sweep, takes the aerial route. There's 2 fielders out there, but it's going to fall short of both of them. She's going to get back for 2 despite the throw of Stacey Ann King. That's the 100 up to a nice warm round of applause from the Pembroke crowd here.
She plays that sweep shot very well, Lenny. She always seems to find the gap with it. That's the end of the 18th over. The score has moved on to 101 for 1. So we'll just take a look at the Irish women's scorecard there. So the partnership has moved on to, I think it's in, is it 85? Both scoring at nearly a run a ball, which is good at this form.
Yeah, partnership at worth 84 at the moment. 16 shy of a 100 partnership, which would actually be a record for Ireland in the T20 format. Going past the 90 of Gabby Lewis and Laura Delaney against Bangladesh. So records to be played for. And for Mary Waldron, none more important so than this next delivery. She's on 49. She's never made an international 50. She's very much the veteran of the squad at the age of 35. But she's going to have to face up to the seam. From the St John's Road end of Shamelia Connell. So here we go. Mary Waldron on 49. And she's got it. That's the 50. The home crowd rises. The wall rises in Pembroke at Sydney Parade. Great joy for Mary Waldron. She acknowledges the crowd, lifts the bat. Delight for her. She goes down to her captain, Kim Garth, for the big hug. What a moment for Mary Waldron.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Mary. As I said, she got off to a bit of a slow start, but she's really kicked on since then. 50 runs coming off 58 deliveries is a good return. And great to see her finally get her first international half century.
Short ball ducked under by Kim Garth. That was quick and sharp, and it's going to be signalled as the one short delivery for the over. Good aggression from Shamelia Connell to end the series.
It was good cricket all round. Kim was showing good intent by going down the wicket to Shamelia, and she obviously went a little bit too early and she banged it in short, and it was a good pace bouncer and well directed.
Fuller this time hit down the ground over mid-on, who's in the circle. Going to be a boundary 4. Late runs coming for Ireland.
Yeah, again down the track from Garth. She's obviously looking for her own 50 here, Lenny.
Mary Waldron's first career 50. Kim Garth trying to join her. Let's take a look at the replay. Down the track, hit over the fielder who was in the circle in mid-on. It's going to bring about maybe a change in the field. Discussions between the bowler and the fielder. Mary Waldron's first international 50, coming in her 91st appearance. Spent a lot of the time down the order. Primarily started out as a wicket keeper for Ireland, even batting as low as 10 or 11.
Yeah, a bit of a late developer, Mary, with the bat, but it's great to see. And it should give great kudos to the coaching staff who had faith in her and brought her up the order. And this is showed the format of the game.
Garth looking to take the aggressive route. Just 8 deliveries left in the series. Ireland looking to get past their total yesterday of 112. Right into the block hole. Really good bowling from Connell, but mid-on had been moved back to long on, so Kim Garth will get a single.
Yeah, Kim was on to 45, but as you know, as I've said all the way through, it's looked she's shown really good intent all the way through this innings. It was just a very stiff uphill task that they had to climb. 188 runs was always going to be a big ask from the Irish. Final ball of the penultimate over coming up here now, Lenny.
Waldron looks for the scoop shot. She gets it past the keeper and she gets it past the fielder for a boundary 4. Good innovation from Waldron. More runs for Ireland.
Very nicely played. Down at one knee very early there. I just about got enough on it to see it run down to the final late boundary for 4, as we'll see here on the replay. Yeah, moved across outside off stump, but probably a little bit of an outside edge, but you make your own look at this stage of the game, Lenny.
Career best for Waldron. Continues to get better and better. And this partnership for Ireland on the brink of history, just about to move past Gabby Lewis and Laura Delaney's partnership of 90 odd against Bangladesh. Can they get to 100 partnership? Just 6 runs shy of that mark now, Jonesy.
Yeah, it'd be great to see. You know, as we said at the start, it'd be great.
Let's hit into the sky to the fielder at long off. Taken. Kim Garth falls short of her 50 and the partnership is broken just as we were praising it. It is indeed a record partnership though for Ireland. 94 runs between Mary Waldron and Kim Garth. It moves past the previous record mark of Gabby Lewis and Laura Delaney, made last summer against Bangladesh here in Dublin. But brilliant stuff from the Irish skipper Kim Garth, but she's got to go for 45.
Yeah, it looks like she just got under that with a little bit and a very good catch taking it long off. Nelson has struck for the first time in a while, but fair play to Kim. You know, the last 2 days she's really shown what a world-class batsman she is.
The non-strikers end. Waldron on strike. Stefani Taylor bowling the final over of the series here, Jonesy. The West Indies, they've been superb throughout.
There was a fantastic appeal there from the tent as well for that one. I don't think anyone else in the ground had any interest in it. Certainly Stefani Taylor didn't. Be good to see Ireland end well here, Lenny. You know, you got to take positives out of every game, and Kim and Mary's batting in this game certainly would be a positive.
Yeah, Waldron was looking to power it down the ground, but didn't get all of it, so just a single down to Natasha McLean at long on, and just 3 balls left in the innings for Rebecca Stokel to come in and make some sort of an impression. Ireland, they're going to come up short again today, but it's been definitely their best batting performance of the series so far.
Yeah, it's been an improved batting performance, all right. They let themselves down a little bit in the ball and with the field in the field today, which for the other 2 games was kind of their strength. But still, I think that, you know, Aaron will be happy enough that there is positives to take out of this. Obviously, losing captain Laura Delaney halfway through the first game was a big blow.
Sokol down the track, hit powerfully, right in between the 2 fielders in the deep. It's going to be a boundary 4, and that's the highest total of the series for Ireland. They moved to 116 with just 1 ball to go.
Yeah, fantastic batting. Very, very well played from Storkel for first up. Down the track, showing great intent as we see here on the replay, and 1 bounce bisects the fielders beautifully for 4 runs. And the last ball of the series here coming up to be bowled by the West Indian skipper Stefani Taylor.
Stokel's going to be bowled off the last ball of the series, so 2 wickets in the final over for Stefani Taylor. Mary Waldron will remain unbeaten on 55 not out, her career best, her first international 50. And West Indies women are going to run out winners by 72 runs and claim a 3-0 whitewash in the series.
I suppose when you think back at it, Lenny, it's only fair that the West Indies end on top. So taking a wicket off the last ball of the series kind of is justice in a way to the way that the West Indies ladies have played over the 3 games. But still a fantastic effort from Mary to carry her bat all the way through this innings and end up in 55 not out off 62 deliveries.
Let's take a look at the batting card, Jonesy. Much more pleasing effort from Ireland, even though if it ended with a wicket. Mary Waldron 55 not out and Kim Garth 45 off 46 balls.
Yeah, obviously was dominated by that big partnership just shy of the 100 mark, which is disappointing in one sense, but great to see in another sense. It shows the Irish women that they can actually do it if things go a little bit better for them, they can actually chase bigger totals.
Yeah, Kim Garth coming up just 1 run short of Hayley Matthews in terms of the leading run scorer in the series. She made 142. Really good consistency from the stand-in Irish captain. You can see warm handshakes on your screen in the background. West Indies dominant with the ball though again.
Yes, very much so. I think if you look at the bowling figures there on screen, you can see that the economy rates between the West Indies bowlers and the Irish bowlers, there is a good 5 runs between each one of them. The West Indians really bowled to their plans, and more so than Stefani Taylor herself, bowling very well with 2 for 19 off her 3 overs.
Stacey Ann King, the other wicket taker. That's the match summary. West Indies 3-0 winners of this Hanley Energy T20 International Series. They win today by 72 runs. Delight for them as they go on to England for a series of 6 internationals against the world champions. But for the moment, delight for the West Indies and Ireland. 3-0 winners. We're going to be back with you with the post-match presentation and a Player of the Series award after a few messages.
Just to go up there now and enjoy it. Go on.
Hello and welcome to the post-series presentation here of the Hanley Energy T20 International Series between Ireland women and West Indies women. I'm going to introduce you to my presentation party. I'm delighted to have the Cricket Ireland President David O'Connor with me here today. We've got a couple of awards. First up, the Hanley Energy Player of the Series. There are several contenders for this. Mary Waldron with a maiden T20 I-50 today. Kim Garth for her form with bat and ball. The West Indies captain Stefanie Taylor, sensational, and Afi Fletcher with her leg break superb. But the winner of the Player of the Series, the Hanley Energy Player of the Series for her maiden T20I century today goes to Hayley Matthews. Just have a quick chat with you, Hayley, before you go anywhere. What a knock it was today. Talk us through your feelings as you're in the 90s before making your first international century.
A bit nervous, but I just tried my best to keep my cool about my skill, and thankfully I was able to get to the 100 without any problems.
Talk to us about your partnership with Shadeen Nation. It was a record one for the West Indies in their history.
Yeah, I'm coming out there. I think she played a wonderful innings. She made it a lot easier for me picking up the singles and the boundaries as well. So thankful for me, she did that well, and I was able to go on and I guess by even better than.
Congratulations, the very best of luck in England. I'm going to call on the losing captain now. We'll have a chat to Kim Garth. Kim, disappointment today going down to a 3-0 series defeat.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, if we can take any positives, that there's going to be a lot of learnings against a quality side like West Indies. So we've got a big summer ahead. We've got Zimbabwe coming up in July, and then we have World Cup qualifiers in August. So we're looking ahead to that.
Lots of positives for your team. It's a youthful side you have. The form with the bat for Mary Waldron, yourself as well, and some positives with the ball too.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, we're going to take a lot of learnings from the series, and I think we're good in ports with the ball, and then for Mary to go out there and get her first 50 day, stuff like that, you just have to take away as a positive. So yeah.
Best of luck for the rest of the summer, Kim.
Thanks.
Well done this series. I'm calling the winning captain now, Stefanie Taylor of the West Indies.
Hi again.
Stefanie, a big smile and delight for your side, 3-0 series winners.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much expected, but not to say that we came in here and not underestimate Ireland and take things in stride.
You seem to get better and better, particularly with the bat throughout the series, a record total for your side in your history today.
Yeah, I think when we were in team meeting, we said that we definitely wanted to improve in our batting, get more runs on the board. It's not going to be an easy one in England, so I think here is just for practice, and we showed exactly what we could do.
Do you think you'll be able to go over and turn over the World Cup champions England in their own backyard in the 50-over format now?
Well, it's not going to be easy. It's a good practice for us. We have 2 more practice games before we actually play them, so we hope that we could, take these practice games and hopefully be on the winning side.
Well, a big smile here from the winning captain, because I'm going to ask David O'Connor, the Cricket Ireland President, to present the Hanley Energy T20 Series trophy to the winning captain, Stefanie Taylor. So Stefanie, if you want to call your team up, you might get a winning photo. That's going to end our coverage here from Pembroke Cricket Club in Dublin. It's been a wonderful series. I'm going to be great delight for the West Indies women's side coming in behind me. Going to be big smiles on their faces. For now, it's goodbye, but congratulations to the West Indies. Any dangerous smile?